welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Jaimen, Evan, Corey, and Tim. No Randy this week. He's nursing his wounds from the beating Jasan gave him in our Guillotine League Championship. And no Jason either, as he is hungover from celebrating that victory. We may be joined by Mikey Botlez in a few. I do want to catch up on a bunch of SkipAce stuff, but we had this weekend the Unified Beerworks and DiscCraft presents the J-Park Jammer XVII driven by Innova. Tim, you did not play at the Jammer, right?
No, I didn't. It was my niece's birthday, and last year my sister didn't schedule anything until the day before, so I had an excuse that she was a poor planner. This year she had it all scheduled out like 2 months beforehand, so I could sign up with a good conscience.
Well, that's cool.
At least she learned her lesson.
Yeah, right, she did.
If she wants you there, she's got to get it on the calendar.
Tournament director Jeff Wachowski, 131 players, 16 divisions. FA3 Women's Amateur 3 was won by Jennifer Park.
Starting off in FA3, Division 2. Listen up! What?
He said listen up.
Why are you yelling at me? Division 2, shooting 165. Give it up for Jennifer Park. That's everything Danish coming your way.
David Gieslin won the MA3 Mixed Amateur 3 division. That's that guy who it was his first tournament, right? That Jeff was saying, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why he won it by like 17 strokes.
He does have a 300,000 PDGA number.
That happened at Blatnick, too. That kid showed up and never played a tournament before in MA3 and won by like 9 strokes.
Same guy?
No, I don't think it's the same guy, but because I think he shot like 950 rated, I don't think he could play MA3 anymore for a while.
David shot 940.
Here he's got 956 and 923. So, yeah.
He ain't playing MA3 anytime soon.
Way back down to MA3. Okay, MA3 the guys. 11 players playing 5 deep. 5th place shooting 145. Eamon Foster. Shooting 142. Jake Hugh. Yeah. Second, shooting 140s apiece. Give it up for Nathan Farley and Logan LaForest. And playing his first tournament and didn't know where to start, so he decided he was going to play MA3. Shot a 123. Give it up for David Gieslin. Wow. Yeah. Over here.
Krista Kovac won the FA2 Women's Amateur 2 division.
CK.
FA2 Division 2 pays out 1. Give it up for Chris, shooting 153, Krista Kovac. That's my teammate!
Mixed Amateur 2, Logan Akins won that by 2 strokes over Ross O'Toole and 3 strokes over one half a camel case of Corey Brian Monahan, who I actually met for the first time this weekend.
Cool guy, right?
Yeah, we didn't really talk much, but he seemed cool. And he tied Brian Lawrence, who Corey found out for 100% certainty, Evan, not your 88%ness, that it is Lawrence, right?
Yep. During the ace pot throw off, we learned that information. Had to ask him directly. I had to make sure I had to verify he was actually paid into the ace pot before I let him throw, but 2, because now we know.
I still think 88 was pretty good under duress without having him there to ask.
That's pretty good, we go for excellence on here.
And it turned out I was correct, I'm just saying, but thank you, Corey.
No problem.
MA2 big division victory in the pit. 21 players paying out 10 spots. 10th place shooting 135. Give it up for Ryan Travis. You go. 9th place probably gone too because she's got hours to drive. 134 Chris Yeager. I'm here. No, you're there. I'm still here. 3-way tie for 6th place, shooting 133. Charles Bednarczyk, Joseph Goya, the 4th, and Dennis Daly. Solo 5th place, 130, Andrew DeSalvi. Tied for 3rd, 129, Brian Lawrence and Brian Monahan. Shooting 128, 2nd place solo, Ross O'Toole. And shooting a 126, give it up for Logan Atkins.
Thanks for running that ace throw off, bro.
Yeah, it must have been hard sitting there having people bring you beers while crossing off names.
Turning to me every 2 minutes going, who's this guy? What's his name?
Dude, 130 people is a hard. I mean, I know some of the old heads, but some of these newbies,
Yeah, I knew
Still
some,
learning.
not everybody.
Out of the 130, how many actually threw for the ace pot?
100 kind of still seems high, but I'd guess 100.
Okay.
No, that actually still seems high. I take that back. I'm going to guess at least 80. I'm going to say at least 88, actually.
88, nice. 2 discs each, though.
Oh, yeah, right.
Lewis Davis won MA60, mixed amateur 60 by 2 strokes.
60. What did I say, Leon? Third place, 138. Time for third place, guy called Jim Robertson. Second place, Jose Leon Dorso. Yeah, Jose. And shooting a 134, Lewis Davis.
Carletta Darling won the FA 50 women's amateur 50 division.
FA 50, Divisional 1. Hard fought battle.
Carletta Darling is a Tower of Power teammate. Shout out.
Mixed amateur 50, that's the division I technically played. I'll tell you quickly about my round. I played with Ron Tyre, who was playing MA50, Jim Robertson, who I think was playing MA60, and Brian Batiste, who I believe was playing MP60. And in the second round, I played with Brian again, Jeff Darling, who I think was MA50, and Jared Secor, who was MA40.
You were playing everybody.
I'm guessing there were probably 6 people. Yeah, 6 people in my division, so that makes sense. A foursome and then 2. And then Brian Batiste won the MP50 division because he was the only one in it. Yeah, so they threw in Jim Robertson, who apparently he plays CTK a lot, right, Jaimen?
Yep.
I wasn't really there to compete. When I played with Devin, it was like 80 degrees and I had overdressed and I was having some heat issues. I thought I was going to pass out. So I was like, was that just the heat or was it something else? So I kind of wanted to see if it was what it was. And I had a couple new knee braces I wanted to try out that I never really threw with before. So it was really, and I felt fine. No pain. I was able to stick it out. So next time I'll compete.
I was going to say, so what is next time?
I don't know. Honestly, right now, my first thought is Bat and Kill Open, but it's a matter of deciding, is it going to be like, do I want to go up and play 2 days? Do I want to just go up for 1 day? You know, my wife reminded me that there's no TVs in those hotels up there on a CTK property. And I'm like, do I have to bring a laptop?
You're going to have to bring out, you have to take out the old CRT from the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, so my round wasn't all that. I guess there's 2 highlights if I had a couple highlights. One, second hole in, I never got stuck in a tree at J-Park before, and I had to ask you guys whether or not the 2 meter rule was in effect. Because I heard Jeff say something about the 2 meter rule and how to mark it, but I don't remember him saying if the 2 meter rule was or was not in effect. I think Jason responded and told me that it wasn't in effect, and nobody on my card even thought to.
What hole was it on?
The second hole we played was at 34, the one with the tennis courts.
Oh, yeah. Those are some grabby trees.
Yeah. Well, I threw it too high anyway. And then at lunch, I had to drink Stewart's coffee because when I got to Cumberland Farms after my round was over, there was like a police car out front with its lights on and all the employees were outside. So they had, for whatever reason, for like 15 minutes, they closed down Cumberland Farms. The 15 minutes that I needed it, because by the time I was pulling out of Stewart's with my coffee, people were back at the pumps and people were in the store again. So.
And the worst part about the whole thing was that I called you out on it.
Yeah, I'm walking back in, Corey's like, oh yeah, so you got that crappy coffee you don't like. And I was like, exactly. Yeah, it's horrible. But I guess for the MA50, there was a 3-way tie. Jeff Darling, Ron Tyre, and Jamie Borge were tied. And I guess Jeff Darling won in a playoff. Does anybody know about the specifics?
At least 2 holes. I know, they played through hole 1. Jamie had a good par save. The other guys parred it, and then they went to hole 2. And at that point, we restarted the ace pot throw off. So I don't know how many holes they went, but.
Was that the one that Jeff said they went 3 holes or something?
I think it went 3 holes, and I think it was something like on the 3rd hole, they all got different scores.
Like, yeah, there was a 2, a 3, and a 4, and he didn't know if that's how you just finish it up. So I think that's how they marked it. Like, Jeff got the birdie, Ron probably got the par, and Jamie probably got a bogey.
MA50
played Maple Hill.
Third place. Tied for second. What did it go?
The next
Tied for
over
second
in
is what I
Michigan.
think it is. I'm not sure because it went 3 playoff holes, and they went birdie, par, bogey. Birdie won it. The other 2 players went par, bogey. Does that second, 3rd place? I've never had that happen. I never had 3 players go 3, 4 holes. Usually it's one person birdies it kind of ends it, but it's like that. So it might be Jamie 3rd place, Ron Tyre 2nd place, and Jeff Darling winning it all.
We have a winner. We have a winner.
MA40, Mike. You played MA40. What happened?
It was a pretty forgettable round. The only highlight, there's two highlights. One, my card, I got to play with Evan, so I was pretty happy about that. It's always a good time. But I did park hole 4 on the south layout. Had a really nice turnover with a Tursus, and we kind of had a discussion on the card, like what they think happened. So we either think it went over the creek, hit a tree and came back, or it skipped, hit a tree to the right and kicked, but it was right under the basket. Other than that, it wasn't a really good round. I let a few things get to me. The day before, I actually kind of a little bit tweaked my back. I woke up, thought it was fine. Then I got through probably around 12 holes, and I had like an awkward scramble shot, and I kind of did something. I don't really ever DNF, so I wanted to like finish the round. And then 2 holes away from finishing, my phone shit the bed, and I couldn't put scores in. And there's a whole bunch of shit that kind of like compounded. And I was thinking about it in the car. I'm like, I think I could probably go on the second round, but like my back and then like the north layout's pretty long. I'm just going to call it. I don't want to like tweak it anymore. So other than that, I mean, obviously the Jammers, one of the events you look forward to every year, and it's kind of disappointing, but it's on my own accord. It's more of my own fault than anything, I would say. Didn't have a really great round. Started off all right, a few pars, and then I bogeyed a couple holes, and then 36 happened, and I got a 5 after a terrible tee shot I hit before the opening up the hill. I hit one of the trees on the left, kicked kind of to the middle-ish left, and I ripped a shot and got up on top of the hill and was able to save a bogey. But like, I played a few holes that like you can't bogey. Like I bogeyed 9, I was early, and then just couldn't really get up and down, and then kind of had a weird putt, toward the creek and left it short. And then 11, I went early into the crap on the left and couldn't really get out, and I missed a probably circle's edge putt short, and it compounded from there. 30, we started on, Evan, what hole did we start on? 32? 31. Yes, 31.
The old shed hole.
Yeah, so hole 30 we ended on, and I went in the middle. It was short, and then I went as my approach shot with a putter just like up to just save a par to end the round and the misery, and I completely grip locked it and went right into the bushes to the right, and I'm just like, get me off of this property. It just wasn't a good day. I mean, it was a good day to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, but other than that, my play was not stellar at all, and I was kind of disappointed because I've been playing really well the last few weeks. I feel like I've taken a good step forward, and it just was a little frustrating to not play it well. I've played it so many times, and just holes that you should birdie or at least par, I was bogeying, and I was like playing holes that I usually do terrible great. My goal was to get through holes 3, 4, 5, and 6 like even or +1, and going into hole 6 I was -1, and then I just fell apart on hole 6 and ended up being +2 after that stretch. So I was kind of like a little bummed and settled down and just got a few pars, and then it just fell apart again. But that was it. Wasn't a great round. Had a great card, but other than that, it wasn't something to write home about.
Who else was on your guys' card?
Carletta Darling.
Yes, it was Carletta.
Oh, so it was just a threesome?
Yep, just 3 of us.
Yep, it was fun. She plays really well, and she had a few really nice touchy like turnover shots that were beautiful. She had a few really nice ones. Evan did give me a courtesy violation for swearing. I will throw that out there.
That was a warning, to be fair.
Yeah.
What did you say and where?
Frick.
Well, I said fuck a lot on the course. I just don't know exactly which one he was talking about.
It was after hole 8 before we teed off on 9. Or no, maybe it was your tee shot on 9.
Might have been it was my tee shot on 9. You're right.
If he like stubs his toe throwing a shot and he says fuck, but if he just says it in general, then yeah, he's fair game. But that was my only question.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we're just gonna say that.
Did you tell Jeff that you were leaving? Because he hates when people don't do that.
Oh, I did, absolutely. I honestly sat there like Evan can attest. Like, we had the scoring issue where I couldn't put the last 2 scores in, and it just frustrated me. I'm like, out of nowhere, I went to grab my phone out of my bag, and it's just a white screen of death. And I'm like, what is going on? Tried restarting it, just didn't work out. And then I was like, okay, Yeah, it was an apple.
Damn, see, yeah, the cult bites back.
Well, it all makes sense, doesn't it, Corey?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like the bottom half of the screen was glowing white, like
Yeah.
full brightness. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, and it's still doing that to this day. It's the phone that will never die. I haven't charged it. It's still sitting on my dresser. I'm using an Android as like my back. I have a work backup phone, and it's terrible.
Screen works, sounds like.
Yeah, so I go to Jeff and I tell him, I say, hey, listen, I'm out. Like, he's like, all right, no problem, whatever. It's just like, it was just a frustrating day because I really look forward to the Jammer, and it takes a lot for me to take a Saturday off. So I took a Saturday off of work, and it's just like I've been playing really well, and it was disappointing in my back. And like, I don't try to let injuries slow me down. I still want to play if I can play, but I'm like, the North layout is so tedious, and it's so long that I'm like, I don't want to risk anything. So I just was like, all right, I'm going to just get out of here.
Even if you don't plan on it, you say, you know what, I'll just go there, I'll play safe, blah, blah, blah. There's so many times where you just want to do that extra little bit, and it only takes a second to re-injure something, if it's a knee or if it's a back.
Yeah, I will say that I absolutely could have played if I wasn't injured to the point where like it was affecting me, but it wasn't like I was gonna not be able to play. It just was like, I don't want to risk it. I'm already like in my own head. It's just, it wasn't worth it to me. So that's why I DNF. But
yeah, I don't know why I played J-Park. Right now, I'm so limited in shot selection. I have like, I don't know, 7 or 8 shots, and you need like 30 different shots for J-Park.
Yeah,
it's the greatest course in the area.
It's not a complaint. It's a complaint for my lack of ability. I actually, Friday before, I did go out and I threw some backhand, and I'm like, I'm not busting this out at J-Park. Did you mention that you birdied hole 4? That's a good birdie. Yeah,
so like one of the weaker part of my games is turnover, which has actually been the stronger like part the last like few weeks. I've been actually throwing them really well. My putting, like I was all around the basket. I just nothing would fall. The worst part was probably honestly my upshots, which are usually my strongest point. Like, I was throwing my MV like 150, 200 feet, but it wasn't accurate. And like my cash, my overstable putter, like I just was not throwing it well for whatever reason. And it was just a little frustrating, and it was like crazy because like the best part of my game was my worst part, which is never good in a tournament. But
So Evan, how'd your first round go?
It went pretty well. It was a little drizzly in the morning, and I didn't want to make the same mistake at Mindkill and have my socks just soak my boots. So I did wear rain gear, which wasn't really needed. Could have easily taken it off. But with all the bugs, I kind of was glad I had it. Like Mike said, we started on 31. Started with a bogey, but just a couple of early releases. I wasn't too worried about it. Calmed down and had a really steady round. I hadn't played South in a while, so like 3 through 6 are not holes I play a ton, and I got par on all those, which felt really good. Didn't look at the scores all round. Again, felt relaxed and things were coming easy, and putts were doing pretty well. Hole 10, I had a really nice drive out in the field. Put my upshot a little, I guess it was a little long and right. Should have been a makeable putt that I missed. Said, shake it off. Went to hole 11 through my trusty Eclipse reactor on a really nice kind of gentle hyzer. Made a long putt for my only birdie, and then finished with a par. I didn't realize until lunch, looked at the scores, that put me in a tie for second. 1 stroke behind Joe Karen, and tied with the other Evan Arteaga.
Thank you for saying that name.
I asked him during the round because I knew it would come up. And he is from, like his PDGA profile is from Puerto Rico. I don't know if he's originally from Puerto Rico or not, but he was in the area for the Jammer. And we got to play together round 2. I was smart the night before. I made myself peanut butter and jelly sandwich, packed a nice lunch, couple apples.
Because you knew Cumberland Farms would be shut down by the police. I got you.
No, I just, I wanted to take the time to kind of, put on some clean, dry clothes and, stretch a little, get something to eat. Round 2, I was on card with Joe Karen, Evan Arteaga, and Thomas Bergman.
He's closer to me.
Yeah, I think he said like Wilcox area was his. It was a great card. Those guys were all awesome. Very relaxed, very fun vibe. We started on 23, and I had kept checking the app to see, when's the round starting, and then it was, the round starting in 15 minutes, and
And that's how long it takes to get out to North, right?
Depending on where you're going, I don't think, what's the worst, 27 maybe, but 23 is out there. But I was pretty much out of my stuff ready to go, so it was just a matter of locking the car up and heading out. We got to the tee. 3 of us were there. It was, like 3 minutes away from starting. And we looked out I had never met Evan yet, but they had played with him first round. He was by the basket. He had found his way to the basket, but not being familiar with the course, like didn't know where the tee was. So we, shouted out to him and he got over to the tee pad to start the round. Second round, I had a really pretty rough start. Those back holes. I had practiced North Wednesday. I went to Pro League. We played North. I played with Justin and Jay Gorsage. Did not do very well, but it was good to get out there and see the holes and kind of plan out some tee shots. But I had a tough start. The first 6 holes, I was 9 over, including a triple on 26 and a double on 27. 26 was rough. I had 2 roll-away putts. I was up on the ridge for, I guess would have been a 5. Rolled away, had like a 25-footer, hit cage, rolled to 5 feet from where I had been standing. Luckily made that to get, 7, but back-to-back 7s, not great. After that, I would say that from 14 to 18, getting all pars there felt really good, especially 15. I had a great shot with my bear that skipped up where I actually had a decent birdie look. I gave a nice solid bid. My style of putt's not going to run too long when I miss, so that felt pretty good, but finished around at plus 13, which dropped me down to 5th place. First round, I was a 913, I think. Yeah, and then an 868. So 891 for the day, 34 points over my current rating. That felt good. MA40, it's always kind of a crapshoot of who's going to be in the division and what the ratings and the skills are going to be, but the vibes are always good, and I'm pretty proud of how I did, even if the finish wasn't up near the top. I'm happy. It was a good jammer.
So as you said, Evan Artiega, he ended up beating Tom and Joe by 3 strokes.
That was my teammate. That was my teammate.
Tied for second, shooting 134. Thomas Birdman and Joe Caron. Go see! Come from the North Country. Taking it down, shooting 131. Evan Artiega. All over Puerto Rico.
Christy Petit won the FA1 division by 1 stroke over Megan Bursell and 3 strokes over Marcia Fox.
And FA1, 3 players face up. 2, second place, shooting 154, Megan Bursell. First place, shooting 153, Christy Petit.
Alex, did you play pro or AM? You're probably doing AM because of the points, right?
Yeah, pretty much any tournament that is offering AM, I am playing AM.
How'd that go?
Not well. Overall, it wasn't too bad. I started off the day following Jaimen for 15, 20 minutes in the car on the way there.
He drives real slow. Is that what it is?
No. It was just we both happened to be getting off the highway at the same time. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Jaimen, but, I'm not quite sure.
You can tell it's me because I've got a lawnmower in my fucking car.
I was going to say, was the back end squatted down because it has 400 pounds of pavers?
Yeah, right. But that was nice. I got in. It was still raining a bit. Wasn't happy about that. Didn't really do any warm-up, and I probably should have. I had a good first card. I played with Austin Swartout, Anthony Bohansky, and Mark Davidson. We started off, and if it wasn't the farthest, it's the second farthest. It was, I think it was 26 was our first hole. Yeah, 26. So we had to hike out there and started out pretty strong. A couple of pars on 26 and 27. Had a birdie putt on 27, so I was feeling pretty good. Started bleeding some strokes as we went on. Got to 23 and took a double bogey. 24 and took a double bogey. And then finished off with a birdie on 25, which was pretty much picture perfect how you want to play that hole. I threw a great forehand line, had like 150-foot clean upshot, and tapped in a birdie. So I was feeling pretty good, except that when I saw the ratings were, I shot a 906 plus 8. But, it wasn't too bad. Like, definitely disappointing with those the double-double towards the end. But round 2, I played with Jacob Driscoll, Brandon Medina, and Sean Party. All super nice people. Love playing with those guys. Again, started off pretty strong. I had a birdie on 36, which is the first time I've ever done that. That's great. Really just could not get the birdies that I needed to towards the end of the round. I parred like 9 of the last 10 holes we played or something like that. And these were, holes like 11 where you really want to, you're really feeling like you should get a birdie. So a little bit frustrating, but overall, still shot a 933 second round and definitely feeling like I left some things out there, but had a good day overall.
I threw a forehand on hole 11 and I was like, oh, that's a little too high. But I said, well, at least it's going to fade out, but it's not going to reach the bushes,
Mm-hmm.
And I went to put my approach, like just toss it up. And at the last second I pinched and I threw it directly right into the bushes. So
I've done things like that before for sure.
Yeah. Then I took my Brinster Destroyer and I threw like a cut roller and it rolled right up and I made the putt. So I saved a 4 on it. But
the cut roller on that hole is a very common recovery shot. But yeah, I've found between this and the Summer Battle Royale match that I just played earlier today, powering down on shots, especially if I don't have space to like go high and go with a heavy hyzer or something like that, is something I really need to work on because I really struggle to get the grip strength right, to get the throwing strength right. So that's something to work on at the very least.
Nice. Looks like Robert Hallam won the MA1 division by a stroke over Austin Swartout and 3 strokes over Max Horowitz and 4 strokes over Charles Gordon Jr. III, just because I wanted to say Charles Gordon Jr. III.
A classic.
All right, moves us up to NA1. Holy cow, big crowd. 24 players shooting, paying out 11 spots. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-way tie for 8th place. Holy cow! Shooting 129. Leighton Brinster, Jacob Driscoll, Alexander Trainer, Tyler Gannon, Chandler Harvey, Josh Lee, Cody Kodine. $14 in money. Timer 6th place, Andy Mohanty and David Wojnowski. Yeah, and? Again? Mohanty did leave, yes. Solo 5th place, 127, Troy Missouri. Just got him in. 4th place solo, Chuck Gordon.
Yeah, Chuck.
3rd place solo, 125, Coach Dorsey, yeah, Max Horowitz. 2nd place shooting 123, Austin Swartout. 1st place taking it down, Bobby Helm. You a Halo disc.
MP60 Mixed Pro 60 was Tim Giardini by 6 strokes over Kerry Powell.
All right, on to the pros, paid out cold hard cash. MP60, 7 players, paid out 3 spots, shooting 131, give it over Greg Kurtz. Oh man, hardest working guy in DisCap.
I thank you all for coming and not hitting the kiddie pool again. You all suck. Thank you.
We had all water out there. I'm going to put my hand. 2nd place shooting 130. $179 goes to Kerry Powell. They're coming in 1st place shooting 124. It's been a minute since Tim Giardini was up here.
Karen Falcone won the FP50 Women's Pro 50 division.
Division 1, give it up for Karen Falcone. She had to leave us.
As I mentioned before, MP50 Mixed Pro 50 Brian Petit. He a lot of times you end up with one person in the division, but you got NIFA points to think about too. So
true.
MP50 paying out 1 in a series of 1. Shooting 134, Brian Petit. He is also left. There you go.
Yeah.
MP40 Mixed Pro 40. Chad Larson came in 3rd, shooting a -4. Craig Cutler in 2nd at -6. And your winner, Joe Jaskulka, shot a -7.
Huge shout out to Joe.
Yeah, 1,004 rated first round. Solid job.
Like, he's probably the only other guy that he might actually live closer to J-Park than I do. I don't know specifically where he lives in the road, but if there's anyone that's more local or closer as local, it's Joe. And to see him take down a win at J-Park is, I want to say, a proud Dubs League coordinator moment. I'm very proud of Joe.
Well, Joe, if you live that close, if you see my AVR X3 going down the stream there, feel free to grab it for me. That'd be nice.
Joe has absolutely carried me to a Prospect Dubs winner, too.
MP40, 11 players paying out 5 deep. Solo 5th place shooting 123, Daniel Egdor. And Russ goes to him. Shooting 122 in 4th place, Jamie Rockefeller. Good for 115. Shooting 117, give it up for Chad Larson. Relax. 2nd place, one of my Innova team players shooting 115. $225 goes to Trent Cutler.
Better luck next time.
Shooting 114, taking a lion's share of the MP40 money home. $340 goes to Joe Jaskulka. And 2 in a row, man. 2 in a row. DisCap here, man. Where from?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like there was a tie in the FPO division. Megan Mercier and Caitlin Clay. Megan Mercier won in a playoff. Does anybody have any specifics on that?
I think that was on hole 1. I don't know anything more than that.
No, that's fine.
If you look at the view holes, it gives you
is
the
that
breakdown of the playoffs.
Oh, nice.
I didn't see. I was going through because Alex, I wanted to see how many people birdied hole 36, and while I was going through, I saw the playoff edition there. So
In FPO, we had 2 players. It took them an extra hole to win, to decide the winner. Shooting 137s normally in a 1-hole playoff. Give it up for Megan Mercier.
I wonder how many people did birdie 36.
4.
Ah, nice.
One of them is my brother, who's not my brother.
That was one I was definitely proud of, for sure. But I wish I could have put more together to make it more relevant.
That hole 36 is actually starting to look like a hole.
Yeah,
I'm
was
not sure if it's there
surprised.
yet, but it's getting there.
It looks nice because someone weed whacked it. That's why it made it look so open, because the ground was a little lower.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Alex, to make you feel better, only one person in MPO got it.
Nice.
And
That's
then now make him feel bad. Who was it?
Brad Shot?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Okay.
He's the guy on that one.
He's
Disc
DGPT
Golf
favorite.
Network. Yeah, Disc Golf Network commercial.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
I seem to do that a lot. We got Brill coming up. I birdied that one par 5 on Brewster Ridge Gold that like nobody else birdied, and then also shot like 15 over that round. So I can get the individual good birdies. I am capable of throwing good shots. I just got to put it all together.
And just to be fair, the other person that got it was Chandler Harvick. So there's all 4.
MPO division, since they're not here, Randy shot a 906 and a 942. Not too shabby. 1 under his rating, 1 slightly over. How'd Jason do? 939 and 1007. So probably right around his 970, right? 30 above and 30 below. So yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly above his rating. Corey, how'd it go for you?
Round 1, myself, kid from Alabama, Caleb Bryant, played with Tucker Middleton from the Binghamton area, and Joe Byerly, everyone's favorite transplant to the area. My round started off pretty high. We started on 15, and to get a par on that feels great, but on 16, I don't know if I'll ever be able to throw a better drive off that tee shot. Like, I was just about pin high at the base of the hill that the basket's sitting on. So I had like a 50-footer for eagle, like an uphill 50-footer for eagle, which of course I missed. But to just be that far up to fairway, I thought that I was going to have like a really great north round. That kind of quickly turned around when I got to like the birdie section of the layout and didn't get any of the birdies. I ended up getting 3 bogeys in a row, but kind of pieced some things together towards the end of the round to finish at even, which ended up being just over my rating at like 972.
What's your rating?
I'm 962 now after getting a 10-point bump in the June update, so I finally hit that goal.
Any thoughts of just not playing for the rest of the year after hitting 960 or no?
Looking at statistics historically, I don't know if that's going to happen. So, yeah, I was feeling pretty good to kind of survive the north layout, knowing that typically I'd play much better on south. Our round started off with a little bit of rain, but it was probably the driest Saturday that we've had in a long time. I got to give a quick shout out to Brandon Klein as well. He helped me with the Lost and Found before the day started. I lugged the entire Lost and Found to J-Park, and I said, this is the last chance for a lot of discs. If you or your friend or whoever is going to be here, get them out of the bin before I move them to the donation bin. And I keep the J-Park Lost and Found cataloged, so I kind of like to know what discs are being pulled out, and Brandon kind of took it upon himself to try to like keep track of who was taking what and then relay that information to me so I could update my spreadsheet. So super big shout out to Brandon for that. Yeah, so after round 1, I was sitting at even. There was a little bit of a log jam there, but round 2, it was myself, Nick Warren, Kyle Hirsch, and Brian Bickersmith. Super grateful to have that kind of card. It did feel there was only a few holes where I kind of feel like maybe I forgot where I was for a moment. Like, it just kind of felt like a casual round, and maybe it would have been worth like focusing up a bit more. But I think started on hole 4 in that back section, got through 4 just fine. And then hole 5, the corner shot, there's a rock wall to the right that's OB. You could attack that hole in a few different ways. a tree had fallen down in the past, say, 4 or 5 months. That's kind of opened up this like standstill front left of the tee pad hyzer route that I've been going with when I don't want to play my doubles route. And I nicked one of the trees and it kicked it straight OB, and I started off taking a double bogey in my round. That's kind of like a musket birdie, so to take a 6 on it, kind of crushed me in the beginning. But yeah, I got a few more birdies throughout that round. Didn't really do anything crazy. Finishing on hole 3, another hole that I really look forward to playing every round, and I got a pretty brutal tree kick that I wasn't able to scramble from, and finished with a bogey that put me at 1 over, where I was hoping to go like even worst case. So I threw like a mid 950s event, like 3 strokes off the cash, which for me personally is very disappointing with like how much time I spent at the course. The one thing I struggle with every year is doing coursework before the tournament and then getting absolutely covered in poison ivy, which when it's that fresh is a pretty strong mental game you have to fight with yourself to like deal with the itch and everything else. You know, you start sweating and then sweating in your poison ivy rashes, and it could be a lot to try to play around at J-Park underneath that mental stress. So yeah, a little bit disappointing, but not too bad.
Yeah, I made the mistake of putting shorts on that second round with all the mosquitoes. It was crazy.
Yeah, so definitely got to give a shout out to, you know, people that really spend a lot of time at the park. I would argue that the course really hasn't looked this good in quite a few jammers. So myself, Brian Biggersmith, Brendan Sisk, he's kind of an unsung hero. He's going to the park all the time, if for no other reason to just spend an hour and a half on a fairway picking up sticks. After work, he might do that twice a week, especially leading up to the jammer. And he definitely, not something that goes particularly noticed, but I think people should definitely appreciate that work effort. Greg Kurtz, Jason Gorsage, those guys aren't exactly local. They're always down to help and have spent quite a few hours. Like I said, I think I made DisCap posts earlier. Jaimen, Adam Nelson, Joe Byerly, his wife, Danny Parton came down and helped weed whack and limb stuff up. And I would say it's a lot easier to keep courses in the city a lot cleaner because either you have a parks department or it's a higher hotspot of players. So you get more hands. So kind of a more off the beaten path park like J-Park. Definitely got to shout out some of the devoted volunteers that put the work in. As we now see that hole 1 has gotten a white tee pad thanks to Greg and Jason Lasasso, Caitlin Clay, I forget who else was there working on the park. Kat Bemis, Julia Marger, Matt Cully.
Nice. Is that where the ace pot throw off was?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, yep. I don't know. I guess I'll just mention it now. There was no aces. We held the ace pot throw off on hole 1 from the white tee pad, and about halfway through the group, none other than freaking Dennis Daly drains the shot. I don't know how far it is. Say it's 200 foot straight shot, and he just laser beamed it right into the chain. So he took the first place share of the ace pot, and I'm not sure who took the second and third GTP. I think Danny Parton was like one of the last 4 people to throw just as we were about to close up shop, and he snuck in, I think, second place for the CTP.
Nice.
I'm taking credit for Dennis's ace. He threw his first one low, and I yelled at him, "Throw it higher," and he did, and it went in. So
It seems like he coached him right into it.
He'll never hear this either. So yeah, that was all me.
All right. And so, Jaimen, how'd your day go?
Good and bad. My putting was like on all day. I made a lot of edge of the circle, a few outside of the circle putts. I think I really only missed one putt that I felt like I should have made. But like at the end of the day, I just like couldn't keep my head in the game long enough. I wasn't able to scramble in a couple holes that were just like getting really annoying. That par 5 in the woods, I like threw what I thought was a perfect shot and landed in one of those spots where if I was literally 2 feet in any other direction, it would have been perfect. But I was in between 2 trees right behind the short tee pad. So I was like, screwed, tried to play the smart shot, got fucked, threw another smart shot, got fucked, blah, 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 blah. Took like a double bogey. That was basically my north round. But, taking a double bogey on a course like that, I was getting all the birdies that I should be getting on the north, but wiping away 2 of them at a time hurts. Played the rest of the course really well. I think I only took 1 more bogey. That was just like a stupid roll away, nothing I could really control. But then, yeah, just second round, I was just like tired. I had done a field trip the day before. I brought a bunch of middle schoolers to the Great Escape, so I was like mentally taxed. And I just like couldn't keep my head in the game long enough. I got super pissed off on hole 36 and finished off with like a couple of pissed off throws on hole 1 and like walked off the course double bogey to come back to even for the round and drove home. And so it was just not my best golf, but I felt like I played really good on the hard holes. And the course I'm playing next weekend has like 34 holes that are hard holes and then 2 must-get birdies. And J-Park has 20 must-get birdies and 16 hard holes. So I'm playing good on the hard holes, and I don't need that many must-get birdies. So I'm feeling good for next weekend.
I'm going to argue your math is totally wrong, mister.
I bet.
For me, it is. Looks like 2023 Co-Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year, Kyle Hirsch, came in 4th place, shooting -5.
Which is crazy because, so after round 1, we both threw even, which was in 12th place, and 4th place was 4 down after round 1. Like I said, that card was myself, Brian, Kyle, and Nick Warren, and we were all kind of just enjoying the round. But it didn't really seem like anyone was doing anything crazy. And even Kyle seemed like he was definitely struggling on, I don't know, say 20% of the holes where he like threw too low or threw too high, and it was just a bad shot. There was no chance he was going to get a birdie. But he was just draining all of his putts, whether they were for birdie or whether they were crazy par saves. So on that south round, like, you end up looking at the score and he's 4 down and had jumped that high up the leaderboard, which, you know, for him, you got to take it one hole at a time, I guess. You know, he kind of pulled himself out of a hole to start outside of the cash line and then get that far up into the cash.
Heck yeah. $215 into the cash. 3rd place was 2023 Co-Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year and 2024 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year, Tucker Kozlowski.
At that 3rd place, that could do good for 2025.
Tucker shot a -6. 2nd place, Steve Brinster shot a -9, and Joe Byerly, your winner, with a -13.
DisCap ends.
Was his first thing the first tracks? Was that the first time he played, at least in a scheduled thing there, or had he been around a little before that?
I certainly hadn't heard of him prior to that.
He'd been around, but he wasn't like really doing too much yet. I think he was just kind of getting settled in.
Was he on disc captains at that point, or are you saying he's for next year?
Oh, that's when I met him, but he played January out, so the rest of the season.
Nice.
NBO, biggest division out there, I think. 26 players paid 11 deep. Three-way tie for 9th place, shooting 119. $80 each goes to Jay Lasasso, Caleb Bryan, over here with his wife and all his gear, buy something from his table, and Bradley Schott. He also had the lead. Two-way tie for 7th place, shooting a 118, 1 stroke better. Justin Maselli and Troy Whitten.
Yeah, Troy! Woo! Yeah, Troy!
Shooting a 117, another 1 stroke better. Tied for 5th, Eric Trujillo and Duncan Park.
Yeah,
Butcher's name, I'm sorry, I did. $160 each to them. Solo 4th place, just off the podium, 116, another 1 stroke better. $250, Kyle Hirsch.
He's still mad about his round, too.
Coming in 3rd place, another 1 stroke better shot. 115, shoots an eagle, 250-foot shot, 200-foot shot on 34. I check go in. Give it up for Tucker Kozlowski. Shooting a 112, also leave early. Shooting a 112, $360 goes to my teammate, Steve Brinster. And absolutely slaying the course, shooting a 108. Wow. Another 10-20 rated freaking entire tournament. Wow. God, this is not gonna get old.
Big check!
Shooting a 108, $550 goes to
Big check!
Speech.
Right up over there, kid. It's too high.
Alrighty, man. There's plenty of time left. It's not raining. Let's go play. I don't have my bag. Anyhow, thank you all for coming out year after year. Thanks, Jen. Let's go.
10-12 and 10-26. Brinster had a 10-21. Justin Zanchelli also, he tied for 7th with a -3. Brian Bickersmith beat Corey with the even.
Yeah, and I go back to work today after having the whole week off, and freaking Brian's cube over there, I walk by, and he's got the results, and there's 2 names highlighted. And which ones do you think they are? So everyone sees them when they walk by. Brian and mine.
Of course.
Nick Warren also shot even. Randy beat Tyler. I'm sure Randy couldn't get to sleep that night because of that.
Yeah, probably on the couch.
Corey, what are your thoughts? Used to be 18 and 27? Is that how it went? Like for the jammer, used around 18 and then around a 27?
Before my time, but yes. Pretty sure Jaimen can attest to that probably.
Is that long ago?
Actually, maybe my first jammer was like that. I don't really remember.
Yeah, it used to be West and then J27.
Dang, that sounds so much better.
Yep, it was.
My only issue with it, I mean, I like the fact that it's 18 and 18, but the overlap, because North takes so much extra to play and South, you can play it a little quicker. It's another 20 to 25 minutes before the people who played North first round come in for lunch. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of overlap. And I'm mostly there for the social. I don't really care how I score. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
J27 probably doesn't take a whole lot longer to play than J North, even though those extra holes. One thing you could argue is that then caps your max amount of players to 72, or unless you do 5-sum stuff, to where typically the jammer has no problem getting 120, 130, 140 people, which, you know, for pros, that means smaller purses, and or if you're Alex, less of total available points. If you're a North hater, then I could see why 27 would be a bigger appeal, or like a no-brainer. But I personally think I like South. South is my favorite layout. So to say South over West is easy. I'm not a big fan of West. I also like North. So for me, I'm fine with the 18 and 18.
I think South and then 27 would be a much better tournament. Those holes in the North, they're just not ready yet. They're not as good as they can be. They still need an awful lot of adjustments. I just don't think it's the best face that J-Park has.
I don't disagree, but my only argument would be you got to get people out there to play them.
Yeah.
You know, the Jammer is one of the few tournaments I'll play in a year. I don't know why, because I'm horrible at J-Park, but I don't, you know, it's still fun. But each time I've played it, it's not like huge, you know, there's not a huge difference, but it does feel a little more like, okay, I get it. Like that nightmare hole you were talking about before, Jaimen, I didn't even see the basket until after my third shot. I see your point, but I also feel like it's almost like you're going through the tough now in hopes that in the future, you know, it'll be better.
For me, it's not a traffic thing. There's trees that need to be cut down.
That's a good point.
The landing zones on some of those holes still aren't connected to the drives, that kind of stuff. There's some very like foundational things that I think could really benefit the experience without, you know, totally changing the hole. I don't want to get too much into it, but I just think that there's some things there that could really be changed, and playing them before it's changed kind of just puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, you know, and obviously mine's definitely one of them. So that's, you know, I'm not unbiased, but you know, it's J-Park's my home course. You know, as much as I complain about it, I do have a lot of pride in J-Park, and I want to see it do really well.
Absolutely.
I will say the two guys in MA40 that I played with who weren't named Joe Karen, who had not played there very often, there was a lot of kind of comments on, especially the North round, of like, man, what's the line here? Like, where are we going? So it's not something I haven't heard.
My biggest issue with it wasn't specifically just the North holes, but mostly the North holes. It had been raining for weeks. It was a little precarious going down some of them hills, and I got knee braces up the yin yang, and I'm an old man, so I was like, whoa! It really helped me feel my age, you know. Mike, I know you didn't play North, but have you played it in the past?
Yeah, I've played it a few times actually. I think I played it in Pro League last year or the year before, and I didn't do too bad. I honestly don't mind North. I will agree that the landing zones aren't, you know, where they should be, but with me, my skill level, it's kind of like poke and pray anyway. So, you know, I can par most of the holes. Like 17 is a really like hard, you really have to like kind of like hyzer flip out and then have it fade after you hit the tunnel, obviously without turning it over and being in jail. But I don't really have a problem with the way it is. I think I agree with Corey. South is my favorite layout, even though ironically I don't play very well. For whatever 1 and 2, I can't seem to even par. For whatever reason, the line, I just can't. I either hit the first tree on 1 and then my upshot's terrible, or 2, I hyzer out too early and then I don't have a nice upshot because it's kind of like low hanging to get to the basket. But I like the layout the way it is. I mean, I don't have any problems with the North layout. Half the reason why I didn't play round 2 is just because of the terrain, like you were saying. It's a little going. So other than that, I don't have any problem with it. I actually like North, to be honest with you.
Did you play it before when it was 18 and 27?
I honestly can't even tell you what my first jammer was. It had to have been like 2022 or 23 because, as you know, my first tournament wasn't until then. Like I said before, my first tournament was to play it again open way back when, but I think it was like 21 or 22. So I don't know. I don't remember what the layouts were back then.
Okay.
I was going through my previous years of tournaments and stuff. The last time I played the Jammer was actually 2021, which feels a little bit weird, but I played it that year sort of on a whim, and I think that was either the first or like second time that I'd played some of the North holes, the par 4s and the par 5s that are back there, and I just remember those feeling absolutely awful to play. This time coming in, I'm obviously a better player now than I was back then, but they felt a lot better than they did, and maybe part of it was I was super braced for them to be terrible, and then when they weren't absolutely terrible, they felt really good because I thought they were going to be so much worse. But yeah, I definitely agree with Jaimen that there's potential there where they still need a couple of things to hit their final form, however you want to phrase it. They still feel a lot better than they used to. That being said, I would really enjoy playing either South or like South and West are definitely 1 and 2. I think I would put West as my number 1, but South is a close second. So yeah, like doing a South and then a 27 round feels it feels like it would be a really cool tournament to do, and I would really enjoy it. But yeah, I understand the limitations that come along with doing something like that.
How many points do you end up getting?
Good question. Something not as much as I'd like. Looks like 67.5 out of a possible 130, which is, about half of what I could have gotten, which, a little bit disappointing, especially since I know I could have done better, but every bit helps.
Heck yeah. Tim, did you ever play the old layout?
No, I never played the tournament when it was 27 and 18. I've only played since they've gone to South and North, but like Corey said, South is outside of maybe CTK, I think South is my favorite layout or course to play overall. That's why I do dubs there as much as I can, because I love that South layout. And so that's my favorite.
Okay. Evan, any thoughts either way?
Yeah, this is my third Jammer. So I've only done the North and South. It's definitely challenging. My favorite layout is probably West based on I've played it more. But I also do really like the 27. So the idea of having that for a round, I understand how it would limit the tournament size, but that is appealing to me as well.
All right. So that just means Jaimen's going to have to do another tournament. All right. So you're going to do the 18 and 27, Jaimen. Deal?
Never.
No.
At Pro League, Justin said he was going to run a C tier that just played North twice.
All right. Enjoy all
so
5
stay tuned for that, I guess. I don't know.
That sounds like pain.
Yeah, Jay Gorsage said he'd much rather play South twice.
Sounds like easy rating points. I'll be there.
I'd rather play Blatnick 9 times than North twice, to be
now
honest
you're
with
It's
you.
not going to be easy raising points, Corey, because you're going to be the highest rated player there.
Right.
I'm going to outpace myself twice.
All right. Any other comments or stories about the Jammer 17?
They didn't do tags, which I didn't have a problem with. I did tag matches with Brian Monahan, so shout out Mons. Thank you.
I just want to say, or Curdy said, but thanks to all the volunteers and obviously Jeff for, continuously running it and, dealing with everything. Other than that, I always have a great time there. Just wish I would have been able to finish it. That's all.
No truth to the rumor that I had you on there, so I could just say I beat somebody because you didn't technically finish. So
Yeah, I got a question about that. You guys might know that. If I finish round 1, but I DNF, does that round rating count? I never understood that.
It does. That's what
Okay.
happened to me at Volunteer.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I don't understand the 888 thing. I don't know when that comes into play.
If you intentionally do it to fudge your rating, they can put it in as an 888. That's what I understand, right? Is that correct?
Not necessarily. It doesn't affect your rating. The 888 does, but it's more just you didn't drop the tournament correctly. If you leave without telling them, that is really the threshold for an 888. I don't know exactly what happens, but from what I've heard, it just takes 10 points off your rating for an amount of time.
It's like 5
5
months. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So if you're going to do it in November.
There you go.
Or just don't do it.
All the team challenge teams get together and just do an 888 tournament.
Oh, you're
Everybody 888s, yeah.
But it also could be a team challenge strat where you intentionally 888 yourself in October, November. That way you kind of come in a little lower on the radar.
That's what I just said.
Oh, so I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, wonderful idea. I like it.
From the PDGA Rules Frequently Asked Questions page, what happens to my rating if I do not complete a round or start the next round without telling the TD? This is considered a did not finish DNF with a penalty. You will receive a score of 888 for the round, which triggers a penalty lowering your overall rating up to 5 rating points for a 6-month period. If your current rating is within 5 points of dropping into a lower division, Your rating will only be dropped enough to keep you in your current division. What happens if a player in my group appears to be trying to play poorly to lower their rating for that round? When reported by the group to the TD, the offending player will receive an 888 DNF for trying to manipulate their rating. The 888 triggers a penalty lowering the player's overall rating up to 5 rating points for a 6-month period. If their current rating is within 5 points of dropping into a lower division, their rating will only be dropped enough to keep them in their current division.
All right, so that was the Unified Beerworks and DisCap presents the J-Park Jammer XVII driven by Innova. We do want to talk about SkipAce, but before we get there, so Alex, you played in the Summer Battle Royale this week? Or did you say today?
Yeah, just now, actually. I got back to my house about 7 o'clock, which was a very quick round. I played against Brian Bickersmith, and we coordinated to play at SBW. We were playing the white tees, which is the ones you have to play for this stage of the tournament. You know, it's always a good time playing with Brian. I got there a little bit early, had a little bit of time to warm up. We got going pretty quick. The whole one starts off with him draining like a 50-footer to take a point, which is kind of how the whole round went. Screwed up my second shot, and he took that one. Clawed my way back after a couple of holes, and then he started pulling away. And then we come up to hole 14, I believe it was, and he throws a shot. It hits a tree pretty early, but it's one of those kicks where turnover backhand, hits a tree, pops out, and continues along the fairway with some pretty good pace, and then crashes into chains for an ace to take that hole and go up 3 strokes with 5 left. So yeah, like that's sort of how that goes. Can't really try to beat that one. That was just an incredible ace because it hit the tree super early and just carried right along the fairway and crashed in. So I was able to claw a couple of strokes back, but he did end up taking it 2-1, which, to be fair, that is what I predicted. My bracket is mostly intact still, but the potential was there that I could have beat him. Both of us were struggling a bit on putting. If I could have done a little bit better, then maybe I would have had a different story to tell. But, I think both of us, if we were both putting the way we normally should, I think he would have just taken it about the same anyway. So can't stress about that.
Who do you have winning your bracket?
I got Brian winning it. I have Brian beating a couple of people, and then myself fighting all the way out of loser's bracket to lose to him in grand finals.
Okay. So you've already played 2 matches, and some people haven't played 1 yet.
I am not one of them because I played my match as well at SPW Whites.
I was just going to ask you about that. How did that go?
Pretty good. I played against Ryan Yadow at SPW Whites as well. I got there a little bit before him because he was at work and I wasn't. I had the whole week off, so I don't think I've ever played it layout before, so I kind of played a few of the holes to get myself familiarized. Brought my entire bag, and I think I only threw about 4 discs.
Yeah, same here.
On paper, I should smoke Ryan. I think I'm rated about 40 points higher than him, but I never had the lead. He got a point on me on hole 3, and then from there, he was always leading. I'd get 1, he'd get 2, get it back down to 1 until the last 4 or 5 holes. He was draining all of his putts, and I forgot how to putt. He was hitting some crazy, 40, 45 footers. And then on the last 5 holes, I got 3 in a row. He got 1 back to tie it. We had the last 2 holes, 17 and 18. We pushed 17. Walk into 18, we're asking each other, what should we do for playoff? We were really sure, if there was anything, written down to guide you in the playoff scenario. We get to hole 18, and he, grip locked in the first available. I decided to do something that I'm terrible at, and that's, actually throw a putter backhand. So I grabbed my putting putter and just tried my best and put it to 25 or 30 feet, a spot that I wasn't hitting that often and around as it is. And he had a rough second shot too, and I was basically able to I don't remember if I laid up for the win or if I actually hit the birdie putt, but I won 1 up after 18 holes.
Heck yeah. Looks like Adam Shoemaker beat Travis Bashore in the other bracket, and that is it. There's no new matches to be had yet, at least as far as this is concerned. That's for the pro bracket. Anything going on in the AM bracket, Tim?
Sorry, I was on mute when I was looking at the brackets that Evan posted in the chat.
Oh, no worries. Oh, somebody posted.
Yeah, Evan he actually posted the website that has the bracket, so we can actually view them now and not try to take those pictures.
That link goes to people's picks, but if you hit the menu, you can see like the bracket itself.
Yeah, it's actually really nice to be able to read it. I am playing Brandon at White Elephant this Sunday at 10 a.m., so I will have an update next week.
I haven't made my second round match yet. It's kind of cool because the two people that I was going to play, regardless of who won, I've never met them or played them before. So I'm pretty excited to get to play somebody new that I'm not too familiar with.
Who did you beat in the first match?
Brian Monahan.
1/2 camel case course. So you got Jimmy O'Connell?
Yep, Jimmy O'Connell. Apparently he's like, I guess somebody was saying, I think Evan might have been saying he's like a Wilcox guy or something.
No, I don't know him. Sorry, Jimmy.
He's a Mind Kill guy, I believe.
Mind Kill, sorry. Yeah, I know it was one of them, but I'm pretty excited. Probably going to reach out to him this week. This weekend I'm going away to my girlfriend's brother they just bought a house in Saugerty, so I won't be around. Usually I try to do Sundays, but I'm probably going to do from the Sunday after that or something like that. I'll reach out to him, but just going to kind of do what I did with Brian, kind of have him tell me what like the top 3 courses he would prefer, and then we'll kind of match it up, and if we have a common one, we'll probably just play that one.
Nice. I actually heard from Ross Coons. My elimination match will be between now and the next time we record, I'm sure. Oh, Jason just sent me a good rules question. Maybe we'll knock that out before we zip through some SkipAce. There's a lot more matches going. Looks like Devin Lamke is going against Corey's favorite Kevin Wen, Ross O'Toole and Mark Ox, Kyle Moore, Jamie Borge, Josh Lee, and Greg Kurtz, who I'd like to point out, nobody hit the pool. I was like lined up with the pool, but I was a little to the right, so I didn't get the $100. And like we said, Jimmy O'Connell and Mike Zanchelli. I play Ross, Joe Karen, and Todd Everlith. And Evan Parsley is waiting for the loser of 6.
6 is Dennis Daly and Eric Struna, and I have it on good authority that they're also playing White Elephant Sunday morning. So I might make an appearance to see who my next opponent will be.
Oh, are they? That's fun.
I found that out today. I might caddy for Struna. We'll see.
Wow, really?
Wow, really? What? Does that surprise you in any way?
No, you wouldn't even offer to caddy for me?
I didn't know you were playing until about 7 minutes ago.
I got a bad back and everything, and you wouldn't even bother?
I didn't know you were playing until very recently.
Wow.
And Eric and I are in constant communication, so...
Okay, I see where this friendship goes.
What he's saying is you're a bad friend because you're not in constant communication, apparently.
Oh.
No, actually, we
I was going to say, if we talk anymore of it, I don't know where we'd end up.
I'm just reading this Jason question so I can ask it to you guys.
Cool. Shout out B. Klein for running this whole thing. It's cool to see all different people. Some names I know, some I don't. People mixing it up. So far, so good.
And some shocking losses, too. Like Joe Karen lost. I don't know if that's shocking, but I thought he was going to win that. And then who was the other one?
Zanchelli. Yeah, nobody picked Mike Zanchelli. We can say it. Mike knows. True. He was the underdog. He was eating it up.
I took it personally.
Jamie and Kenji, that looked like a good battle. And then Josh Lee and Justin Hickok looked like another one.
Okay. Corey, what about J-Dub's Points Championship Week 13?
We played the North layout ahead of the Jammer. I think we had 15 people. Myself and Lenny Rabun were matched up, and we tied Brendan and Jay Gorsage with a 7 down. We would have played 2 holes in the CTP based on the daylight, but it only took 1 hole on hole 30 as I hit a putt, apparently. This is the problem. I do these recaps like the night of, and then it's like too much time between for me to remember what happened. But yeah, so myself and Lenny took that, and we're playing J27 this week, and I hope it doesn't rain because that could put a damper on. Yeah, so now we're about halfway through the league. Justin's still leading over Brendan, and I've crawled up to 3rd place for the league standing.
Nice. Alex, did you play Stony Kill? Random Dubs Week 12.
Unfortunately, I didn't. I had some awkward timing with work issues and needed to deal with that. But apparently Kevin Gordon won for the 2nd week in a row, along with Chris Myers.
Minus 14. Not too shabby.
Very solid minus 14. And Kevin's a classic Stony Killer who has been out there volunteering and everything. So always good to see people who volunteer doing well.
And Corey didn't show up at Pro League to see Adam Nelson win it with a 61 either.
Yeah, I decided that I was going to sit home with some calamine lotion and try to get this poison ivy cleared up as best as I could before the Jammer. All right, there's something else. Oh, I think I finally got my truck going on Wednesday after it's been parked for 6 months. So I was a little worn out. Decided I was going to chill.
All right, here's a rules question. I'll read it and then We'll see how it goes, and maybe it's worth bonus points, but I'm not sure yet. So Jason sent in a rules question. There's a big B tier at CPS, and the lead MPO card steps up to the par 5. I think it's hole 14. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now that's changed. It's the new 14, old 15.
Yeah.
Okay. At the top of the card is Raymond Zoom. He's down 2 strokes to Jaimen Hume, so he decides to go aggressive and try to eagle the hole with an aggressive roller. He throws the disc from the tee and it hits the ground on the perfect angle. It turns around the bend and is heading down the hill perfectly. About halfway down the hill, it hits a pine cone and veers to the left. I'm going to edit that. About halfway down the hill, it hits a turd and veers to the left. No, I'm teasing. The lead MPO card is eager to see the result, so they run down to the white tee to see how it finishes. The card watches the disc head right towards the giant pond, expecting it to be OB. Before crossing the OB pavement, however, a young, undisciplined pedestrian grabs the disc and runs up the sleigh-riding hill with it. Neither the kid nor the disc is ever seen again. The card is dumbfounded by what they just witnessed and is unsure how to proceed. The disc never crossed the OB line and was grabbed roughly 5 feet before crossing the pavement. How should Raymond proceed with his next shot, and what shot number is he throwing?
Oh, shit.
This is an open book quiz, right?
This is a call to TD situation.
Yeah, no, the absolute step one is call the TD.
Call the police.
I think the fun part of the rules question that Jason does is that we all kind of try to guess what we think it is, and then at the end, you find out what it actually is. So what do you think it is? What's your gut feeling? And then we'll correct everything and get the right answer.
My gut feeling would be just re-tee with no penalty. I don't know.
Okay, that's a valid answer.
I would say, so in the scenario, they saw...
It seems like the whole card saw him grab it 5 feet before it went OB.
Okay, so they saw it. I would say that that's the last spot the disc was before it was hit by a pedestrian or a spectator or a camera operator. So the group would make a decision now where his lie is. But I guess that'd be my best guess. Because, like, who's to say that it wouldn't cut roll back in? Like, you could just assume that he's OB, I would feel like.
I agree with Corey. I think the card would figure out where they think the best lie is, and then he'd be throwing 2 from there.
Side note, I played the Cranberry Ice Bowl Classic like back in 2019, which loved the course, hate the park, a lot of dog walkers. A guy, similar situation, threw a shot, and it looked like it was going to be OB from where we were, but it was like kind of uphill, kind of like a blind like crest of a hill. We knew there was OB up there, and he was heading towards it, but as we were walking up there, an off-leash dog ran over, grabbed the frisbee, pulled it into the fairway, and then kind of like dropped it and continued running. So we're like, well, I guess it's your lie now.
So we got Mike says you can re-tee, no penalty. Tim and Corey say play it from approximately where you guys agree as a group that it should be. Anybody have a differing opinion?
I would say wherever it was interfered with is where the lie is.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's it. My question is there a penalty or not?
No, Alex. My question is there a penalty or not?
Right, so he'd be throwing 2. I guess that's my answer.
I would certainly hope there isn't a penalty. My instinct is if they hadn't seen it, it'd be a lost disc, but they did see it. So they can come to I don't know if there's a rules specific for this, for like, you saw the disc, there is a place where you can determine that it was inbounds, but it's no longer there. I don't know if the rules allows for that.
Evan, you're the only one I don't think that has chimed in. What do you got?
I agree that where the group determines that the person grabbed it, take the lie near there.
Okay, well, according to 810 interference, section E, you're all correct. A thrown disc whose course was intentionally altered by someone other than the thrower is given a position at the point of contact as agreed on by the group. The thrower may choose to throw from the resulting lie or to abandon the throw without penalty, in which case the original throw is not counted in the player's score. So you're all right.
So you can throw 1 from the tee. That's interesting.
That is. I don't know if I would have assumed that.
1 from the tee or 2 from the spot of the interference.
I mean, good thing they all ran down the hill to see it. Otherwise, it's a lost disc.
Yeah.
Guess you got to wait to see the best roller you've ever seen on that hole to make sure you're running down the hill.
All right, so let's run through some SkipAce. We already mentioned that Jason is our guillotine winner. We have to figure out if there's going to be enough events to do another one. I think as of right now, there's like 10 more events. which would work. And nothing's next week. So we might be able to sneak in another elimination. I don't even know if it's technically possible on this format, though, with SkipAce. I don't know if it's set up for that. But we don't have to worry about that right now. We are a lot of events behind. I think the Northwest Disc Golf Championship was the same weekend as Minekill, right?
Yes.
We had 63 pickers, one half a camel case. Corey, Jaimen, and Amanda Dunbar were on page 2. Page 1, we got Jacob Dunbar at the bottom of page 1. Alex Potts tied for 48th with Mike Schwartz. Kenji Klein and Brian Heller at 45th. Zach McDonald 41st. Ivan Marmota in 38th behind Turtles in Your Face 37th. Highland Mike Warner in 34th. Randy Bobandy 33rd. Ryan Travis 148343 in 28th. The Ace Pop podcast is still going strong, 26th. Sparky Spalding 24. Brandon Klein 23. Bickersmith in 20th. Corey beat him in something in 19th.
Oh, yeah.
Evan 17th. Tucker the Koala 16th. Kyle Hirsch 14th, tied with Jason. Matt in 11th, top 10. I'm in 10th. I don't know how. Drive for Show in 9th. Mark Bryan in 8th. Ryan Nelson 7th. Devin Lamke beat me in Summer Battle Royale, and he beat me in Northwest Disc Golf Championship in 6th. Adam in 5th. O'Doyle Rules in 4th. Tim Goyette, 3rd place.
That's my best finish I'll ever have.
Well, you can improve 2 spots.
Well, I could.
Theoretically, I'm just saying.
Theoretically.
Flying Squirrel in 2nd, Kevin Kroenke. And in 1st place, Lenny. Minekill, I think we went through these, didn't we, for Minekill? Or no?
It looks like
it's still pending according to this. So
whenever it finalizes, it's going to be one of my drops.
Yeah. The Ale Open.
Ale Open.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Ale. Did anybody else watch these European ones? For some reason, I could just not get into them.
It's the commentating. That's why I can't get into it.
That and like the only there'd be like 3 American names, and it'll be like Paul Ulibarri and Ezra Robinson or Ezra Aderhold, and then like the European names, are like Vino and Nicholas, and there's a bunch of other like randos that I don't know of. The courses all look great, but
I've watched very little coverage in general, live or otherwise.
Well, I'm calling it the Ale Open. We had 59 people pick for that. Jacob Dunbar, one half a camel case. Corey Brian Monahan, Ivan Marmota, George Jervis, Zach McDonald, all on the 2nd page. There must be 4 people using this site. It's going very slow. Front page, Rob Weiss of the Mississippi in 44th, Brian Heller 41st, Alex 37 in a row, tied with Charlotte Waldo. I hope it's Charlotte. Highland Mike Warner tied for 32nd with Jason. Evan in 29th. Devin Lamke in 27th. But I'm in 22nd. Devin, sucker. Randy in 20th. Kenji 18. Jack Straw, Alex's favorite, in 17th. Behind Kyle Hirsch and Kathleen Bemis. Kyle in 16th. Kathleen in 15th. Chris Lucier in 14th. Tucker the Koala in 13th. Brandon Klein in 12th. Top 10. We have a tie for 10th between Nick Warren and Mike. Stubbs in 9th, Sparky Spalding in 8th, Flying Squirrel, another top 10 finish in 7th, Bickersmith in 6th, Mark Bryan in 5th, Drive for Show in 4th, RD in 3rd, Corey Cook in 2nd place.
Mm-hmm. I know my Europeans. Oh,
Yeah.
I picked Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah, all those names you don't know when you're watching coverage, and then you also know.
I picked the names I do
and
know, like
this.
Ricky Wysocki, Niklas, Kristen, and Anakin.
Fair.
19 points behind your winner, Mike Schwartz. Then we had the Preserve this past weekend. We had still 2 pages. This is crazy.
Wow, these scores are bad.
65 players. George Jervis, Zach McDonald, Randy Bobandy, Tim Goyette, Rob Weiss of the Mississippi, Nick Warren, Evan, Mike Schwartz, Kenji Klein, all on page 2. Page 1. Jason Lasasso, 49th. Ryan in 43rd. Jack Straw, 42. I'm in 40th, right behind Corey Cook in 39th. 4 points, bastard. Sparky Spalding in 38th. Got Corey by 2 points. Brendan Klein, 34th. Kat Bemis, 33rd. Flying Squirrel in 30th. One half a camel case, Corey Brian Monahan in 28th. Alex Potts, 26th place, behind Jaimen Hume in 25th. 5 points he got you by.
Almost.
Highland Mike Warner in 18th. Tucker Rules in 16th. Brian Heller 15th. Ivan Marmota in 12th. Top 10 Stubbs. Stefan Freefelt in 9th. Charlotte Waldo in 8th. Kyle Hirsch in 7th. Tucker the Koala in 6th. Wayne Lunsford in 4th, tied with Ryan Travis 148343. Matt in 3rd. Max Horowitz in 2nd. And Chris Lucier is your winner. Like Corey said, not a lot of points. 904 points for the Preserve. And the Jammer is still pending. So these local tournaments are having probably some difficulty.
Oh, thank God I didn't pick myself.
Yeah, I made that mistake for Mind Kill.
So overall, we got 128 pickers. Let's see if anybody we recognize is on page 3. Jesse Owen, but he's dead. Nobody really recognizable on page 3. Page 2, let's see. Blaine Irondies Mendraza. Little Jerry Seinfeld. I think he's been away for a while. Kristen McDonald. Mikey Botlez. Slacker.
Yeah, I haven't picked in weeks. I just haven't done it. I don't know why.
You're still in 73rd place.
Really? I haven't picked in like 2 months.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who picked once and that's it. So Travis Bashore in 67th. Turtles in Your Face in 64th. Heller is a Bagger in 62nd. Amanda Dunbar, 51st, right off the front page. Tim Goyette, 48th overall.
I've been missing a few.
They must not be asking trivia questions when they ask you to pick.
Oh, I wish this was trivia.
Ryan Nelson, 45th place. Ivan Ivan Marmota, The Answer to Life, the Universe, and Everything, 42nd place. Flying Squirrel, 37 in a row. Jack Straw, 36th. Jaimen, it's a compunction, I have to say, in a row.
I was wondering if anybody else knows what's going on.
You guys know 37 in a row, right?
Mm-mm.
It's just a quote from Clerks.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm in 34th place. Jaimen in 32nd, behind Sparky Spalding. Although, I don't know, Jaimen, you got the same amount of points total as you do. You don't have any drops yet.
Is that just because I'm really good at actually putting my picks in and just not making good ones?
They could be zeros.
Oh, okay. They could be zeros. I think I missed Ale.
29th place, Rob Wiesel of Mississippi. Jason in 28th. Highland Mike Warner in 27th. One half of Camel Case, Corey Brian Monahan in 25th. Zach McDonald, 24th. Randy's in 21st. Evan, 20th, top 20.
Nice. I feel like I've been slipping, and I know I missed at least one tournament, but top 20 is nice.
What was I in 34th? Oh, man. Devin Lamke in 18th. Max Horowitz in 16th. Tucker LaKoala in 15th. Nick Warren 14th. Kat Bemis 13th. Alex 12th place.
For now.
Less than a couple hundred points, right?
Until my Mind Kill picks hit.
Top 10. Tucker Rules in 10th. Corey in 9th. Stefan Freefelt in 8th. That is a name I've not seen before, but it's in 8th place overall. It's got to be a name change.
Yeah, I have no clue who it is.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's some kind of joke and I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Or if it's a reference to something, I don't know.
Exactly. Brandon Klein in 7th, Bickersmith in 6th, Chris Lucier 5th, Drive for Show in 4th, Mike Schwartz in 3rd, Kyle Hirsch in 2nd. O'Doyle Rules is in the lead by 50 points over Kyle Hirsch. Corey, did I mention your name?
You kind of glazed right over it. You kind of moved right over it. You didn't glaze it enough, is what I'm trying to say.
What place are you? Are you in the top 10?
Yeah, 9th place.
Yeah, he's number 9.
So I did say it. I just probably said it quickly. I'm sorry. Oh, because I was so freaked out about the Stefan Verfeld.
Yeah,
Free
unlucky.
felt. 9th place, though. You're in the lead, right? As far as us fools. Yeah. All right. What's coming up? We got the DGPT Discmania Challenge by TrueBank. That's not this weekend. That's next weekend. And then the DGPT PCS Open, July 4th. All right. That's your SkipAce. That'll be a fun edit because that's just a lot of names that I have to reel off. Speaking of names that I have to reel off, Adam Nelson and Jay Gorsage won SPW Doubles League with a minus 13. Anybody here want to do a quiz?
Sure.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Just a couple quick notes before we get to a quiz. Raise your hand if you're playing the Bro. That's this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Alex, Jaimen, and Corey playing the Bro. Do you guys know if Randy and or Jason are playing?
No.
I don't think either of them are, but I'm not 100%.
Neither.
Okay. Jaimen, I mentioned it earlier. The Bat and Kill Open. Is anybody playing shorter layouts?
Yes, the T assignments are in the About section. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. A lot of divisions are playing at least one round of Reds. Some are playing both rounds of Reds, I think.
FP40, MP60, and MA2 Reds, then Blues. FP50, FP60, and FA2 Reds both rounds. FA1, MA40, MA50 Reds, then Blues. MA60, MA70, FA40, FA50, FA60, FA70, MA3, and FA3, all juniors, Reds both rounds. I just happened to have it up, and I had never read the About section, so thank you. That worked out.
Yeah.
Why is David Martin listed above you as assistant tournament director in the disc golf scene page?
Maybe alphabetical order. He's also significantly cooler than I am.
That I've heard, so that's true. Okay, good point. Okay. All right. The Flex at Prospect opened today, so it'll be open if you're listening to this. So it's the last Flex before the volunteer Flex. Is that what it is?
That sounds right.
When is it? Does anybody know?
August 8th.
I'm going to go with the Friday.
Friday, August 8th.
All right. And Wilcox Well whole sponsor registration is open. The next tier is women's division. That'll open on Friday, 620. Ratings based open on 630 and 7.7. How does that work?
It's just 2 stages. It looks like 950 and up is the 30th, and then 900 and up for the 7th. But
Okay.
it does specify it's only pros. So I wonder if all of the M's have to wait until the 14th, unless they're sponsoring something.
Well, that was the other one. General registration 714. All right. Jaimen, you can put your hand down, sir. I know you've probably told many people that. I just wanted to be one of the few that actually got to tell you that. So
The amount of times in a week I'm like, you were so busy thinking about asking your question, you weren't listening to know that I answered it already. So, yeah, my bad.
No, raise it higher in defiance.
do you recall what happened at CTK Handicap League?
Yes, Joe Pulsoni and Court Furman tied for the win. We do not do playoffs there because, well, I always ask them and everybody's just so laid back, they're not interested in it. So they tied for first, and John Furman, Court's dad, took third.
Nice.
Yep. It was a nice day out there. Got like a little bit of rain in the beginning that kind of made everybody wet and made mowing really hard.
I mean, I'm hearing Joe Pulsoni's name a lot when it comes to the handicap league. His handicap might need to get a little bit worse.
It adjusts every time.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
He's just getting better every week then.
Yep.
I just like how Alex said, "Oh yeah," it sounded funny.
On Thursdays lately, I've been going out with the Dunbars and Joe Pulsoni and Colin Murphy, who are both CTK locals, very helpful people, and we practice every Thursday and work on different things. So some things are clicking. He's always been a solid player. He's got a crazy forehand. He throws a thumber, but like at a forehand angle with this really overstable bear bite disc. It's like one of those 3D printed things, and he can throw it like 275, 300 feet on a frozen rope that just fades to the right at the end. That's a weapon that he uses an awful lot. But besides that, he's been just kind of getting smoother and learning how to play golf a little bit more and get a little bit more backhand distance. So he's becoming a problem.
Who's always been a problem is Brandon Klein. Him and Kevin Wen shot a -10 at Prospect Park doubles. Summer Safari Week 1.
Nice.
So disc or no disc, we'll do 2 teams of 3. We're going to do a quick draft. Who do you want as your partner, Mike? As your first partner?
Let's go with EMP.
How
All right.
predictable.
Tim, you're the other captain because I forgot you won the Mind Kill picks last week. So you should have been a captain last week. But so who was your first pick?
I'm going to hope for a car category, and I'm taking Corey.
Oh, did not see this coming. I'm not getting picked last today, boys.
And because I got to mix it up, no snake draft. Mike, who's your next participant?
We will go with... I picked Jaimen last time. We'll go with Mr. Alex.
All right, so that means Jaimen goes from captain to Alex last week.
Alex last.
All right. Mike, you got Evan and...
Corey.
Alex.
Oh, I know. I'm on Tim's team. I forgot. Sorry, Tim.
Man, I pick you first, and then you forget I
I know.
did.
I just spit right in your face. I apologize.
And
Can I
Tim,
make a
Corey, and
trade?
Jaimen. All right. So I got 3 categories for disc or no disc. We're going to give Tim, Corey, and Jaimen the first pick. What category would you like? Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
Since Corey spit in my face, Jaimen, you can pick the first category we're going for.
Let's go right down the middle with category 2.
I like it.
All right. Question 1, Category 2. In disc golf, what is the term for an approach shot designed to get the disc close enough to the basket for an easy putt? It's also the name of a podcast that I have never listened to. In disc golf, what is the term for an approach shot designed to get the disc close enough to the basket for an easy putt? It's also the name of a podcast that I have never listened to.
The upshot?
Oh, okay. I was thinking, is there a podcast called Park? Upshot sounds good.
It is definitely a podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say there's Upshot is definitely. For some reason, Layup was coming up, but that's not a podcast. So let's go Upshot.
Yeah, I like Upshot.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is the upshot a disc?
Ooh,
Is it in that same lightning category?
right?
You're leaning towards it as a disc?
I don't like that. Lightning has what the head, the hyzer, turnover.
I was leaning towards no.
It's a pretty terrible name, but again, it's a disc golf term. I'm okay with no because I think it's a terrible name.
Okay, that sounds good.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Lightning Discs, February 13th, 1993.
God damn it.
Good job, James.
At least I was right.
You were.
Mike, Evan, and Alex, what do you got? Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
I do not have a preference.
Yeah, Mike, you're in charge.
I'll defer to myself and we'll go 1.
All right. Question 1, Category 1. In the vicinity of a black hole, what is the boundary beyond which nothing, not even light, can escape the gravitational pull? In the vicinity of a black hole, what is the boundary beyond which nothing, not even light, can escape the gravitational pull?
I have a guess.
I think it's the event horizon.
That was my guess.
Sounds good to me.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Yes.
Is the Event Horizon a disc?
I'm going to say emphatically no.
Yeah, MVP has an event horizon, but I'm pretty sure it's related to glow stuff. I think it's their like lights that you put on the basket, but I don't remember now. It's not a disc. I know MVP has something called the event horizon that is not a disc.
You talked me into it. I'm with
Yeah,
that.
you sold me.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Going no?
Correct.
Correct.
Andromeda M31 discs, June 9th, 2025.
Is it PDGA approved?
Yeah, that's where I got it from their website.
He's getting on the PDGA list.
Damn. All right. Well,
Mike, is this the first time you've played this game?
no, actually, it's my third time, and I've won the first 2 times.
And he's tied for first this time. But I was going to say that it is possible that some get dropped off the list. I might still have as on the list, but this one is June 9th. It just happened, so hasn't get yanked yet. Tim, Corey, and Jaimen, category 1 or category 2. Category 3 will be saved for another date.
Stick with 2.
Yeah.
Question 2, category 2 in basketball. What distinctive one-handed shot is characterized by the player turning their body sideways to the basket and extending their arm in an arc over their head? It was the trademark shot of NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hook shot.
In basketball, what distinctive one-handed shot is characterized by the player turning their body sideways to the basket and extending their arm in an arc over their head? It was the trademark shot of NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I love how Tim made fun of Mike.
I know.
If this is his first time being on,
Oh,
and then
I
he
knew it.
he answered the question.
You know what? I deserved it. For whatever reason, it felt like 2 after he read it.
Tim.
And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Pat usually reads the question twice, and then we answer.
I know.
Then we talk about it. Yeah.
It's the first time I played. I've never done this before.
Thanks for schooling the rook there, Evan. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. He needed that. So what do you guys got? What are you thinking?
I think I heard someone say it was a hook shot. Wait, is this going to be disc golf related, though? A hook shot? That might be like an old-timey term for a disc golf throw, right?
It could be. I mean, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe is it a sky hook? Is that?
No, I think a hook shot sounds like the right answer. That's kind of what I was
Okay.
thinking, too.
All right, let's go with hook shot because I think that answers the question.
Jaimen, you're a basketball guy. You got anything else?
I'm not a basketball guy. Also, I've been talking this whole damn time.
I thought you were oddly quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that sounds good. I like hook. That's the gist of everything I said for the past 2 minutes.
Okay, let's say hook. Let's say hook, Tim, and then that sounds like it could potentially be more specific hook shot answer. So
Get her foot in the door.
Do you think he's going to give us that it's not? All right.
no, actually, no. Throwing a hook doesn't make any sense. It's hook shot. It has to be
Right.
hook
It's
shot.
a hook shot. Hook shot is what we're going
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
You guys going with hook shot?
Yes.
We would have taken sky hook or hook shot.
Oh, that's fair.
Is the sky hook or the hook shot a disc?
I thought I was going to get the steal with that.
Now, if they just said hook, I don't know. I'm glad they didn't.
That's why I kind of talked him out of it because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have given it to us on hook.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I've asked that question before.
I think we just ride the lightning disc and say yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's all I
Yeah,
got.
I'm game with that.
You going with yes?
Yep.
Or wait, are you going with yes, fuck, or just yes?
Who was that?
Yeah, where'd that come from? Is that Alex?
Yeah, what was that?
That would be me. My chair is breaking.
Oh.
And, like the support for it, like you can adjust it to lean back, and that bit keeps breaking. And I lean back like an extra 6 inches.
Were you doing the rocket
I
way?
thought he knew it was a disc and we got it right. Pissed off.
So you guys are going that it's a disc.
Mm-hmm.
The hook shot, lightning discs, December 31st, 1996.
Good strat. Good strat.
Tim, was that a Metallica reference when you said "Ride the Lightning"?
I did. Oh no, I had no idea. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one.
right.
I didn't think about that. Thanks.
All right, Mike, Evan, and Alex, category 1 or category 2?
I don't know.
Up to you, Mike.
2.
Here you go.
Sure.
All right, question 3, category 2. When an inventor filed an application for a new invention with the appropriate government office, but the approval has not yet been granted, what 2-word legal status can they affix to their product or design to warn others that approval is being sought?
Patent pending.
Damn, it is the first
Man, no way.
Rhymes through.
Tim, you want to let him know what happens here?
And Mike, he has to read the question twice and then you answer.
Because
I don't
people
know
are
if-
listening.
I did it on purpose.
All right. When an inventor has filed an application for a new invention with the appropriate government office, but the approval has not yet been granted, what 2-word legal status can they affix to their product or design to warn others that approval is being sought?
Someone else want to take this?
I mean, patent pending definitely sounds right.
It's all you, Mike, and with enthusiasm.
All right. I'll say it twice, too. Patent pending. There you go.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Is the patent pending a disc?
I'm going to say no. It's a disc golf shot.
Right, but that's the whole lightning discs thing is that they have those. But I don't like that 2-word phrase as a disc name. I do like that shot. I throw it a lot.
Is the patent pending on the patent pending is the question?
I'm going to say no, it's not a disc.
I certainly don't like it as a disc.
I'm going to say no.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Agreed.
Yep.
I just want to know when the fuck is this patent going to finish pending? But no, you were correct. It is not a disc. We're tied at 3. Tim, Corey, and Jaimen, category 1 or category 2?
2.
Oh,
Yes, 2. Sorry,
Stick
muted.
with 2. All right, question 4, category 2. In audio mixing boards or DJ equipment, what sliding control is used to smoothly increase or decrease the volume of a specific audio track or channel? I was just waiting on somebody to answer it. In audio mixing boards or DJ equipment, what sliding control is used to smoothly increase or decrease the volume of a specific audio track or channel?
Would that be the fader or the fade?
Is it fader or is it fade? I guess it's causing fade, so it's a fader. That makes sense.
I've never heard the term fader. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds really weird, but when you said it, it makes you're causing fade.
What it's doing is it's making it fade, so it's
right.
It is the fader. But yeah, fade is, I feel like, the more appropriate answer for, the sport.
It sounds like Darth Vader, so I want to say fader. Corey, where are you at?
Not my cup of tea. Although, sure, I would go with Logic's saying. It would be weird to call it the fade.
Yeah, I think it's because it causes the fade, I want to call it a fader.
Unless it's called a fade slider.
Oh, the fade slider. Well, then he said slider in the question. So
I just mean like the actual thing is called the fade slider instead of being referred to as a fader. But maybe it's like...
Can we hear the question one more time? Maybe there's something we're missing.
In audio mixing boards or DJ equipment, what sliding control is used to smoothly increase or decrease the volume of a specific audio track or channel?
I think I still want to go fader because that was the first word that you said, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense.
Or we just say fade. Oh, God damn it. It's not that easy.
I feel like, I don't know. I want to say fade, but...
I feel like the answer is fader, but then he'll be like, is the fade a disc?
Oh, he might do... Let's go with that.
Let's go with fader.
For whatever reason, I think because it's doing the job, I want to call it a fader.
Okay. I trust your intuition more than my own.
All right. I think that's why I want to call it a fader, because it's doing the fading.
You guys agree?
Sure.
Yep.
Is the fader a disc?
Oh, fader is the disc.
Nice.
I don't like that. If it was just fade,
I don't like
maybe,
it at all. Yeah, if it was a fade, but I don't like fader at all.
I don't mind it that much. Like, oh, yeah, this is the fader. This one fades.
We're saying fader too much. Now where does it make sense?
It's lost its meaning.
After the 4th time you guys said it, it ceased to sound like a real word in my mind. I was like, it's just such a bizarre sounding.
An alpha D and an R in it. I guess it was Ford, but
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Okay, let's say no.
We're going no.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
On January 1st, 1982, Disc Golf Association released the Fader 2 in Roman numerals, and the Fader 3 in just a regular 3. It's weird.
Wow, they're terrible at that.
Wow.
All right, Mike, Evan, and Alex, category 1 or category 2?
Do we stick with 2?
We could. I'm curious about 1. I think we would do okay.
I also think we would do okay.
But 2 feels like leaving it for them is maybe not wise.
That's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, let's take 5, and then if they want 6, they have to take 6.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So going with category 2?
Mike, you down?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Question 5, category 2. What flying reptile, often mistakenly called a dinosaur, soared through the skies during the Mesozoic era on wings made of skin stretched between an elongated fourth finger and its ankle?
Don't say it.
What flying reptile, often mistakenly called a dinosaur, soared through the skies during the Mesozoic era on wings made of skin stretched between an elongated fourth finger and its ankle?
I'm thinking it's a pterodactyl.
I love that answer because my old band had a song called Pterodactyl. So I really hope that's both the answer and the disc.
If it is the answer, you have to sing a couple bars.
It was an instrumental, and that's the truth.
Then you have to hum it.
Hold on, let me get my bass out. Hold on. So I think we like Pterodactyl for an answer.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yeah, just don't ask us to spell it.
You need to tell me how it's spelled and whether or not it is a disc.
I know there's a P at the beginning.
I can spell it.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
All right.
All right, well, then you just make me feel stupid then. That's fine.
Alex, what do you got?
Oh, for spelling?
Mm-hmm.
Pterodactyl.
Evan, do you agree?
I concur.
You are correct. No points, but correct. But now, is it a disc?
I am somewhat confident that it's a dinosaur disc.
Yeah, if it's not a disc, I'm going to be really sad.
I think it's a disc.
So you guys agree it's a disc?
Yes.
Evan, did you want to play a couple notes?
No, let's just say it was an A minor and really groovy.
All right. Well, how about I say no, it is not a disc.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
That seems like a mistake on somebody's part.
I know there are dinosaur discs, and I would have 100% guessed that was the first one that they made. So
We are tied at 4, unless anybody can correct me.
no.
Tim, Corey, and Jaimen, category 1 or category 2?
2.
Yeah, you want to stick with 2?
But that was a 1, right?
No, that was
That
2.
was-
There's only
that
one
was a
question
2.
left in category
Yeah.
2.
Oh, what the
This
hell?
is 6 for 2.
Oh, wait, that isn't pterodactyl? Isn't that the thing that Big Germ does?
Yes, exactly.
So it fits the category.
Oh, so you're saying that's the category, Pat? Is this just?
I don't know. I mean, if you haven't figured it out now
Made it,
yet,
got
Corey,
him.
There is a pterodactyl on Infinite discs. I don't know if it's PDGA approved or not, but it is on Infinite.
it's not on the approved list, unless they spelled it wrong.
Is it one of those like kids disc golf discs?
Yeah, dino discs. I can't see anywhere that it's saying.
Supposed to be too small of a rim.
The pterodactyl is made with the mold for the ABC secret weapon.
The PDJ page doesn't have any dino discs as a manufacturer.
Fair.
Damn, get wrecked. Hit with the facts. Yeah, no, I don't know if I like 2 more than 1, but
Yeah,
I'll leave that to you guys.
I think we stick with the disc golf.
Yep.
Final question, category 2. Whether it's splitting defenders in soccer, threading the needle in golf, or finding a gap between opposing players in various sports, what type of shot relies on pinpoint accuracy to navigate a confined space? Whether it's splitting defenders in soccer, threading the needle in golf, or finding a gap between opposing players in various sports, what type of shot relies on pinpoint accuracy to navigate a confined space?
Laser beam. Rope. No. You got any words, Jaimen?
No. Can we hear the question one more time?
Whether it's splitting defenders in soccer, threading the needle in golf, or finding a gap between opposing players in various sports, what type of shot relies on pinpoint accuracy to navigate a confined space?
Man, it's like all of the answers that I would have were just in that question.
Yeah, I mean, laser beam is like, I guess that was the first thing I could think of, but, or laser. I don't.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of right now. I was going to say threading the needle, but
You just
Peered?
yeah.
that doesn't feel like soccer, though.
No, like for whatever reason, I know it's not. I don't
Like
think
you're on
it's
hole
worth it.
14 at mine kill. You throw a perfect downhill straight shot right at the basket. What did you throw? What would you say? That was
Frozen rope.
Frozen rope. Yeah, I was thinking rope, laser. I guess I vote laser beam.
Yeah, laser is what I like the most. I can't really think of anything else that would make sense in all of them. Not sure that it makes sense in soccer, but I can't say I watch soccer.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense in soccer, but I guess it makes sense. All right, you're thinking laser?
Yeah, I can't unthink it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have anything better. Laser, Pat.
What do you got, Mike, Evan, and Alex?
Initially, I thought rope or dime, which are hooligan discs.
Dime is what I thought.
I think it's dime.
Put it on
Like
a dime.
if you throw an accurate pass, it's a dime.
Yeah, I don't know about soccer, and I don't feel like I've heard people in golf say that, but the whole time that was like the word I was honing in on.
I would say let's go dime. Alex, you have a...
The only thing that was really coming to mind for me was gap, but yeah, I mean, I could see dime being the answer. I think it's like stopping on a dime. I think, precisely dropping it in a specific spot as opposed to threading it between things.
Yeah, I'd say like putting it on a dime, like
Yeah.
a good football pass or like
Yeah.
But
soccer, I guess. Yeah.
it easily could be, and like I said, the only thing I had was gap, which is not exactly something I'm confident in.
No, I like dime better for like just like generic sports slang.
Yeah, I would say dime.
Sure.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you both got this wrong. In rereading it, it's kind of controversial. Tunnel shot. We were looking for tunnel shot.
Tunnel.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That is a
Self
disc.
sense, sure.
Compound discs, April 8th, 2024.
Tim, you knew that was a disc?
Yeah, I knew that was a disc.
I've never heard of that.
Robbie C threw it.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Fair.
All right, Mike, Evan, and Alex, that was for steal. You didn't get that, but you do get question 2, category 1. Dwayne Johnson plays a primatologist who cares for a big white gorilla in what video game turned 2018 movie? Dwayne Johnson plays a primatologist who cares for a big white gorilla in what video game turned 2008 movie?
I know it.
2008 movie?
2018 movie.
2018. That makes more sense.
I know it based on the video game.
I remember seeing commercials for it, but I can't remember the name. So if you know it, then
Rampage.
yeah.
You guys agree?
I'm good with Rampage.
Yep.
Is the Rampage a disc?
It seems like it. Like, what is it? Doomsday Discs or
Yeah,
I don't know.
It certainly seems like a good disc name.
I feel like if it's not a disc, it should be, because that's a badass name.
I know we said that already. I feel like at least twice tonight, but
that is a classic remark, and then immediately get told no in about 10 seconds. So
yeah, I don't care. I still like it.
yeah, I'm good with going yes.
Yeah, me too.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Legacy Discs, July 14th,
Nice.
2011. All right, Tim, Corey, and Jaimen, question 3, category 1. In Veronica Roth's popular dystopian book series and the subsequent film adaptations, what term describes individuals who do not fit neatly into any one of the 5 societal factions? In Veronica Roth's popular dystopian book series and the subsequent film adaptations, what term describes individuals who do not fit neatly into any one of the 5 societal factions?
Tim,
I read this book. I'm trying to think.
what's the book?
Oh, wait, let me think here. Is it... Oh, crap. I can see the chick... Divergent, I think, is the book. And they made movies out of it. What is it? Type person that doesn't fit. 5 categories. Or 5 groups.
Outcast?
No, for whatever reason, I keep thinking of the guy's, like, call name, and I want to, like, or his joke name, and I want to say it, but I don't think it's that. The heck is it called?
It'd be like Bandit, Outlaw.
It's something specific to, like, what are the 2 other answers?
Event Horizon and Rampage.
That does not help at all. Crap.
This kind of question is just my absolute kryptonite.
Yeah.
I don't read or watch movies.
I've read this book, and for whatever reason, I can't. It was not good, so I don't think I read it anymore. I'm going to say, I want to say 4, but I think that's the character's name. I don't know. That's all I got.
Like 4, like the number?
Yeah, I think it's for whatever reason, when I think of this book, 4 comes to mind, but I think that's the guy's name, not the category, because there's 5 categories that you can fit into, but I think his name is 4.
So you want to go with 4?
I don't know. I have nothing better. That's the only thing that comes to mind from this book.
Fuck if I know. I have no idea. This is like, there's several layers of just, I don't fucking know at all.
Yeah.
All right, well, I still vote Outcast, but if you think 4 is a better answer than Outcast, then we can go with it, because I don't know it.
I mean, the book's called Divergent, so that's the other thing we could just go with is Divergent.
I like that better
I have
than 4.
Divergent,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Divergent. That's what the book's
Divergent.
called, so let's go with it.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Divergent a disc?
Wonderful
Dude,
job.
you're killing me, Tim.
I liked it when you first said it, and then you came up with the answer of 4, and I'm like, wait, what?
It's just, like, yeah, you said the title, and I'm like, that's such a good answer.
Okay.
It worked. It all worked. Great job, Tim.
When Tim said I read the books, but I don't remember, I was like, how do you not remember? But then I read Kurt Vonnegut, Breakfast of
Slaughterhouse
Champions.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, what's the Breakfast of Champions? He's like, hell if I know. I don't remember.
Well, that's the thing with Kurt Vonnegut books is the names don't have a whole lot to do with anything.
Yeah, it was some kind of drink. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But is the Divergent a disc?
It's a brand, isn't it?
Is it?
It is a brand.
I do kind of remember it being the name of a brand, but I kind of don't not like it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tim? You got everything else right.
Oh, God. I feel like my brain's fried now. I don't know. I know it's a brand, but I don't know if it's a disc. So I'm gonna take a courtesy violation and abstain.
All right, so I think
You're
me and Jamie were both leaning towards it is. It's great.
Okay.
It is a disc, yeah.
Okay, let's go with it.
I bagged 3 of them.
So you're going yes?
Mm-hmm.
It is a company, but it is not a disc.
Okay.
All right. Question 4, category 1 for Mike, Evan, and Alex. Question 4. Billy Zane starred as the titular hero in a 1996 film adaptation of what classic comic strip character known as the Ghost Who Walks? Billy Zane starred as the titular hero in a 1996 film adaptation of what classic comic strip character known as the Ghost Who Walks?
Anybody?
I have no idea.
No.
I can think of a lot of comic book characters that could theoretically be the Ghost Who Walks, but I've got nothing for specifics.
The classic comic strip character is the Phantom,
Yeah, that was probably number 1 on the list.
and it was definitely played by Billy Zane.
All right.
Yeah, the only other thing I had, but it was like way after, was Ghost Rider, but that was Nicolas Cage.
Correct. And he's the spirit of vengeance.
Back when Billy Zane had hair? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Before the Mummy films, I believe, maybe, right? Anyway, we think it's Phantom.
Yeah.
Is the Phantom a disc?
So
It feels
Innova
like
has
it.
a phantom sword.
Is that one of the old, what do you call it?
The old Discmania.
Yeah.
molds.
I like Phantom as a disc name. It feels like, I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, it certainly feels like this. I thought it was at first, but then I realized I was thinking of the Phenom. But
Or is he trying to trick us?
Always. Constantly.
No, but I mean, like, it's phantom. There's a phantom sword.
No, because the Phantom would be describing the sword, so that wouldn't apply.
Oh,
Yeah.
If the answer was sword and it was Phantom Sword, maybe, but I would avoid that unless it really fit the category.
I like it still.
I would say, yeah, it's a disc.
Yeah, very much seems
It
like
feels
it.
like it's got to be at this point.
You guys agree?
Happy with yes.
Sure.
Discraft, January 1st, 1983.
83, dang.
All right, question 5, category 1 for Tim, Corey, and Jaimen. Final round. What 2016 science fiction film starring Amy Adams and directed by Denis Villeneuve features a linguist attempting to communicate with extraterrestrial visitors? What 2016 sci-fi film starring Amy Adams and directed by Denis Villeneuve features a linguist attempting to communicate with extraterrestrial visitors?
All right, I'm going to pull an Evan and ask you both questions when I know what the answer is the entire time, and then make you try to guess at it.
I can see the movie poster. I've seen this movie. Go ahead, ask questions. Go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, if you didn't know what it was, then I make you guess things.
Is it
But then
Interstellar?
the whole time I know it. No, it is not.
Fuck! It's like
It's Arrival.
It's a what?
Arrival.
Oh, it's Arrival. I thought you said Arrival. I was like, you made that up.
Oh,
Arrival. Like they are.
Oh, damn it.
Like
Okay,
a rival,
I see.
like a enemy.
Yeah, not a rival. Arrival.
Arrival. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Like a B-Klein is my arrival.
Yeah.
It feels like it's Devin Lamke these days.
Devin's too nice a guy, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
There's so many reasons to be a rival with Brandon.
So Arrival.
Yeah, I like it. That's the one. That's like those big floating eggs.
You guys agree?
Sure.
Is The Arrival a disc?
I want to say no, which I feel like means it actually is a disc.
It's a really bad disc name.
Yeah, I don't think it's name. I'm
We're
gonna say
striking
no.
out though.
Yeah, we have been terrible.
Why stop now?
Yeah, I still think it's no though.
Okay, say no. Sorry, that was a mid beer drink yawn. I just wasn't breathing enough oxygen. I'm not tired.
So your brain's not getting enough oxygen due to the beer? Is that what I'm hearing? I don't know. Thanks for sharing.
I think I just need to breathe more frequently.
Is The Arrival a disc?
I say we go now.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You are correct.
Finally.
Nice.
Finally.
All right, final question for Mike, Evan, and Alex. You're up 1 point, but if you get it wrong, they have a chance to tie and potentially win. Question 6, category 1. Tom Cruise starred in what 2013 post-apocalyptic science fiction film where he plays a drone technician on a desolate Earth? Tom Cruise starred in what 2013 post-apocalyptic science fiction film where he plays a drone technician on a desolate Earth?
I watched this movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Was it like Oblivion? Something like that?
That's it.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Mike, in on that?
Yep.
Is The Oblivion a disc?
My play sometimes is oblivious.
I could see it as like a Doomsday, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm,
We don't need the point for once, so we don't need to stress about it.
All right, my vote is yes, but Mike, you can decide.
Yeah.
don't put that shit on me.
I
Come
am
on,
also-
Ricky Bobby.
I am also
You know,
voting
I'm going
yes.
to trump you guys and say it's not a disc.
Sure.
What are you guys going with?
We're going with Mike.
Yeah, we're going Mike.
It's not a
Team
disc?
Captain. He says no, we're going with no.
I say it's not a disc.
Doomsday Discs, June 9th, 2025.
God damn it. Who made me captain anyway?
Pat. It was Pat.
Yes. Well, I mean, Event Horizon and Oblivion came out as discs. I had to do a movie category.
Nice. Yeah, I was thinking it was just movies.
Yeah, sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Real quick, Gunks Monday dubs. Kieran McCarthy shot a -2 to win. 5 people won Colonial Acres dubs. We got Christopher, Evan, Chuck, Mark Bryan with a -8.
Never gets
It's a whole
old.
lot of first names right there.
Matthew Cubitt and Adam Sundberg won Saratoga Spa Random Dubs Week 10 with a -13. Steve Brinster and Matthew Pressler shot a -11 at Warwick Tuesday Dubs. Kisco Tuesday Dubs, which I always want to shout because they put it in all caps. Sean Partee and Chainface shot a -9 to win. Scott Mosier and Gabby Bruno shot a -19 at Wilcox Tuesday Dubs. What layout you playing to get a -19? Port Jervis Disc Golf Club Spring Summer League 1 disc round. Micah Ortez shot a -8. Justin Hickok shot a -7 at Regeneron Wednesday Dubs. Shen Creek Dubs Week 11. Cody Miller and Levi V shot a -13. Tyler McKinnon and Ryan Ramundo shot a -11 at Skylands Buzzy Dubs. John Krajewski won Disc Beat Club League Christopher Evanchuk, Jeremy Forham, Florida Man Million shot a -7. So did Tyler the Cannon Gannon and Kevin Wen at CPS Thursday dubs. Wes Halter won the Skylands Friday Handicap League. TGI FDR dubs, Josh Pelor and Craig Henniger shot a -12. So did Trevor Lambert and Athanasios Vuzas. And Cran and More Dubs League, Charles Carpenter Jr. III and Ari Fruchter shot a -5. So did Jack Fruchter and Cody Canine, but they must have had some kind of tiebreaker because Charles Carpenter Jr. III and Ari Fruchter are your winners, and that is it. Anybody have anything before we go? Any birthdays coming up?
Not from my perspective that I know of.
Nope, not for 11 months.
No birthdays, but I just saw something that's like tangentially related to disc golf. Chris Kromzak's daughter, Sophia Kromzak, is an 8th grader who is a very good disc golfer also. Took 4th in the state in the 2,000-meter steeplechase tournament.
That's awesome.
Which is really impressive. I'm
Heck yeah.
betting that we're going to see some really crazy things out of her in disc golf in the future.
You said 8th grade or 8 years old?
8th grade.
Okay.
But yeah, 4th in the state. And that's not like a modified state tournament. That's the varsity state tournament.
This is the thing where they put those things to trip you into the water, right?
Or you jump off of them into the water. But yeah.
Are you supposed to clear the water or jump into the water?
You're supposed to jump as far as you can. And the farther you jump, the less water you jump into, which means you're going to get out faster, which means you're going to run faster.
Okay, but you are going to get wet. Like
most likely, unless you're like super, super good, I guess.
Yeah, usually like the first lap or two, you can clear the majority of it. But after like 4 or 5 laps, that's when you start getting
Does it not seem like a ridiculous thing? like pole vaulting seems a little ridiculous too. But
Everything about like track and field seems a little bit ridiculous.
Hey guys, have you ever seen what we do?
No, I know.
Exactly. That's just how sports work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we want you guys to run around this track. You need to
Inherently.
jump over these barriers. Oh, and there's going to be water, but you're not going to be able to clear it. You're going to get wet. And then guess what? You got to do it about 100 more times.
Sounds like Maple Hill.
That's all I got.
So no birthdays. All right. Well, thank you, Alex, Jaimen, Evan, Corey, and Tim. And thanks for coming on again, Mike.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And sweet out.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, everyone. I did have a question. We were talking about the rules last week. Is it me, or did it seem like there were just a couple rules that seemed that were geared to? It's almost like the PDGA assumes when everybody throws from the tee, everybody goes to the first disc, the farthest disc.
Like single file follow each other.
Yeah, isn't that what it seems like they're trying to imply? My thought was, if you're going to have to vote, I understand if it's OB that it's laying there, but like losing discs, I was trying to check that this weekend, and it's not really feasible, especially with the lower levels, because then it's like buckshot, when like MA3's throwing, you don't know where anybody's going to end up. They just scatter. So I don't know. Did anybody feel like it seems like the rules are geared towards everybody going to the furthest disc, then the next furthest disc, and being able to watch everything? It just doesn't seem practical.
I would guess or assume that they're just trying to make people be aware, have a sense of awareness, not necessarily have to like have the perfect vantage point to see everything that's happening, but like giving an honest effort, not just out there picking daisies, as your baseball coach might have said back in the day.
Close enough to get a good look at the throwing motion and where it's going.
Like when someone's throwing, don't be like on your phone and watching tic-tac videos and stuff. Like be aware of what's happening.
Playing J-Park, even from the teeing area, there's several holes where you have no clue where that person throws because you can't get an angle. Like hole 11.
Oh, so you probably mean old hole 11, or do you mean actual hole?
Well, what's hole 11? The little ace run.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, it's course dependent, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that wasn't the only one. It's just the only one that just popped in my head right now. But it's just it's impractical.
There's certain things when you absolutely should be, in the area at the very least. You should be in position where you can make a call on something like a foot fault for theoretically every throw.
Yeah.
That being said, in practice, that almost never happens, but theoretically you should be.
So what you're saying is everybody should follow, like you say, single file, and everybody go to the farthest disc so that we could watch your feet and everything instead of going to my spot.
Theoretical, if everybody's playing exactly, following the rules, being 100% perfect on that.
By the book.
Yeah, by the book.
So you were a proponent of 5-hour rounds?
I don't like it. There's room for just keeping up pace of play, like tapping in a 2-footer just because you're walking by and, the other person isn't even close to ready yet. Like, absolutely do things like that, at least in my opinion. But technically, by PDGA, you're going out of turn in something like that.
I don't watch a lot of pro coverage or, haven't been to, events. What's their style of play like in regard to what you're asking? Are they all single file going, everybody stands directly behind, Calvin's disc? Or are they kind of spreading out on the fairway going towards where their own shot is?
I'd say they're definitely spreading out, but there's kind of a lot of other eyes, typically, not just theirs.
That's true.
Although their other eyes don't really matter unless they're marshals.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't really know. I've never really been to an event like that.
On a more local level, does it vary in your guys' experience from, an AM division to MPO or, Pat, like you said, in a lower division when everybody's shots could very well be very far apart? What's the practical thing versus, the well-intended?
Well, I mean, just spotting hole 18 at the pro, I saw everybody go to their disc. I mean, there'd be, a couple people at one disc, but that's because the other disc was further up.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no thought that everyone has to follow like ants to each lie and meticulously scrutinize every situation. That would directly contradict the whole pace of play aspect.
Yeah. There's a balance to be had between being prepared to, call something like a foot fault and, actually making sure things get done in a reasonable amount of time. It's course dependent, it's card dependent, it's all these different things. You can't really have one set of this is exactly what you're supposed to do, and if you're not doing it this way, then you should get penalized.
Until a situation comes about that maybe somebody has a reputation for cheating a lie or whatever, well then as a self-officiated sport you kind of like gotta be more vigilant.
Yeah,
if someone's known to be foot faulting or throwing from in front of their lie, I'm definitely going to be following them around.
If it's me, I'm generally pretty lax. One of the benefits of playing in MA1 and MPO, people tend to know the rules. People tend to be playing pretty reasonably where they're not going to be making foot faults all their time. They're not going to be doing things wrong, so you don't need to be quite as vigilant. But like Corey said, every once in a while you run into somebody with a reputation and you got to change things up.
Or not even just a reputation, but like if I've noticed something once or twice in a round already, or I think I might have saw something.
Yeah, like you think you see something, maybe you mention it to them and be like, hey, looks like you might have been a little bit off with your foot there. And then if they don't, make any effort to do better next time, then maybe you stick around. But it's very difficult to come up with an exact, this is exactly what you're supposed to do in any given situation.
I was asked a rules question Saturday, round 2, card behind us. One of their guys didn't make it to the start of the round. So Lenny asked me, he's like, what do we do? I said, well, when it's his turn to throw, he gets 30 seconds. And if he's not here, he gets par plus 4. And then you guys play. And on the next hole, it's his turn and he gets 30 seconds. And if he's not here, you do that till he shows up.
You typically after like 4 holes or something like that, you're allowed to remove him from the scorecard.
Yeah, I think I've done it before in the app. At some point prompts you and asks like, hey, it seems like this person's not here. Do you want to remove them?
Yep.
Tim, how was your Father's Day?
It was good. How was yours?
It was nice. I brought wife and daughter to Thatcher Park, played around from the whites. Emma was throwing her DX Archangel like really well, big flex lines, and we got some good views of the overlook, and it was a nice day.
Nice. I went to SPW with my 5-year-old. And it's the first time he's completed all 18 holes, and he had an absolute blast with it. So it was a good Father's Day because of that. So
awesome. You had to bribe him with candy?
No. You know what's funny, Corey, is after 8 holes, when we ended on the path at SPW, I asked him if he wanted to go back to the car, and he's like, we have 10 more holes to play. So I was like, all right. Yeah, it was a good day because of that.
Nice.
I sat on my motorcycle for 5 hours and rode to my brother's house in Connecticut at 7:30 in the morning after the Jammer to be there for brunch. My parents were out there visiting already, so I rode 2.5 hours to Connecticut, hung out for 5 hours because I said, same thing in disc golf. I'm going to spend 5 hours round trip in a car going to Maple Hill. I'm not playing one round. And then I drove 2.5 hours back home, and by the time I got home, I could barely walk. My ass was killing me. So was my back.
I did Stony Kill with my dad and the rest of my family. We did myself and my sister versus my mom and my dad playing doubles, and that was fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we
Who
crushed him.
I was gonna say, yeah.
My sister, for having been in grad school for the past, year or so and not playing disc golf at all, stepped right back into it and was immediately throwing really, really well. So that's always great.
Jaimen, what you do?
Hung out with my dad. It's kind of nice. My dad's birthday also happens to be June 15th. So every few years we get a twofer. So we had a barbecue, went kayaking. Nothing disc golf related, but.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Jim, and my dad's birthday is the 17th, so it was always every few years you get a combo, and it made it a lot easier.
Yep.
I'm sure they're both happy about that, right? It's like being born in December,
My mom is 3 days before Christmas, and it's always a little like, I got to go a little extra hard for my mom.
Yeah, my aunt's birthday is on Christmas.
For Dad, you got to get him a tie and socks.
My dad always liked it because he hated having anything about him, so having one day would made it easier.
Classic dad.
Right.